Morning, team. Good morning, everyone. New Monday, new week, new world champions of football. Let's go, Spain. Congratulations. The world is saved. Football is saved. Thank goodness for that. Right. Into the charts then for the new week. Right. We closed last week in breakout. We remember we left this big old range from the current year's profile. All right, and a rotation up here. This is a huge value area up here. We're starting to come back inside this 3-month value area. But what really matters is the edge of this down here. So sort of 29,300, 29,400, 5-day moving average, somewhere around there. That's what we're really watching. So we have to be very careful for a failed breakout. That's what we've seen numerous times before. But this for me, I know we're back inside value, but this for me is the edge. All right, so I wouldn't mind here. Remember, most of the news is going to come from earnings this week, Wednesday, Thursday onwards. I wouldn't mind here a drift up and then a rejection of that. Or maybe we need to build out some liquidity Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Or maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, or maybe it's even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Maybe we come back inside the range late on the week. But that's what I'm going to be waiting for the test of this area for us to make the decision. Moving into the hourlies, I'm going to have a look at previous week. Let's just get this set up so you can see it a bit cleaner. There we go. Pull this up. All right. Here's previous week's value. So you can see we're leaving previous week's value. This is basically the edge of the 3-month value range as well up here. So we're inside, or sorry, we're above previous day. All right. So that's bullish on the hourly charts, above previous day. But importantly, at the moment, we keep rejecting. You can see this LVN. See this shape in last week's profile? We are rejecting this LVN here. So my question for the market really is, are we going to reject this LVN and come and test value? Are we going to hold previous day's value and go back up towards previous week's value? Or are we going to reject previous day's value and go into a rotation down here? I have no idea which one we're going to do, but we're probably going to do one of those. So I'm watching to see, are we going to reject this red zone? Do we come back to value? Do we find dips there and are we buying back to red zone? If we get above red zone, are we then holding for previous week's value area low? If dips don't hold and previous week's value area high, I'm going to assume rotation, and then maybe there's a short for follow through back down here. I'd love this to just be a liquidity build out to come backside. The question really is that we're asking, are we backside here, or are we going to be backside up here? All right, and that's what I'm kind of asking. And on a Monday morning, I don't think we're going to get a giant move, but happy to be wrong. But there's not a lot of news today. Right? If you look at the news calendar, I put it in the weekly newsletter. There's not a lot of news this week in general. This is going to be about earnings, and today we've already started seeing rotation start. If we think about the GEX levels, all right, we're in positive GEX right now, above this neutral zone, which is previous day's point of control. So if buyers do step in, if they can't hold value, which is call wall 1, if they can't flip that call wall and hold it, then neutral zone seems like a highly probable area, 840. All right, we lose that, and we know where we're going, back down to value area low and the put walls. All right, call walls are above. I would imagine these will start to change after 10-15 minutes at the open. But again, the question really is, do we hold the call wall and are we coming up here, or are we going to stuff this, lose the call wall, go in rotation? And then what happens in this choppy zone? Very, very patient this morning. I'm not too fussed at the moment of where we are. I'm just going to give it some patience. Okay, let's have a look at the other indexes. This is overnight value. All right, it's from Sunday open. So you can see we're above the call wall and previous day value area high, also above current week or overnight as it would be for now. So we can mark this out. It might be that dips want to hold there. We lose that, we flip it. All right, so we're watching that. All right, let's have a look at ES. All right, you can see that drive up failed that first level, and we're back down to this neutral zone. It all depends whether they flip this or not. Same kind of story here on ES. The breakdown happened in 2 spots. So you can see these pivots. All right, so it's really a question. This is liquidity build now. Undoubtedly, sideways action there for a bit. It's large range, but it's sideways. Question is, do we come back inside that range and are we rotating, or are we going to hold above this range and come up to one of the bigger pivots higher? All right, and this will happen here if we get XLV or XLF strength. I would imagine if Qs stay heavy. Otherwise, if tech moves up, this will also move up. Right, so we're going to have to watch the rotations early this week, I would say. Very, very probable rotation early this week. All right, spiders. Same story with the SPY. We also, this is important actually, we should mention this. This gap from Thursday, I don't think it was filled on Friday. Let's put this in. So it's possible, if they're going to be an efficient market, we've gone wick to wick on Thursday's low right here, and we're rejecting it. That's a sign of weakness. If we get through this wick, we can watch that 750 for the gap fill. So in fact, you know what? I'm just going to move this one up to here. And we can move this one up a bit. All right, that's kind of the range. So we'll see, again, sideways action on SPY, pivot low, gap down, low, held, higher low, higher high, but into pivot. All right, so resistance here, support structure here, mean reversion in the middle, where the VWAP and high volume is for options. So we'll watch rejections at 48 to sort of 50. All right, if we reject here, and we'll watch dips. I don't really want to buy 745. I think that's too risky, but we'll see if they do a double bottom down here and hold. We can think about that mean. If we're just going to stay in range or a little look below and fail, we can think about that as well. All right, QQQ. Same kind of story here. Again, gap fill is up here. We can pay attention to this. We can come up to the edge of range. Sorry, folks, I'm going to flip all these colors as of Friday and Thursday. All right, dips being bought so far. 700, we're back over. That was a big put wall last week. We dropped below it. It's now a call wall. We'll see if they hold 700 and they're looking for this drive to fill this gap, 706s, or if we pop and fail and this is a big bear flag, which I imagine it is. I imagine that's exactly what it's going to be. It's just whether we need to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or not. Or if it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, fail to break down, hold, pivot. So I want to be patient front side of this week. I think the bigger moves are going to come back end of the week here. So again, 700 a good over under right now, and 705s. All right, so we lose 700, we might see some downside pressure. Or if they flip this back in, we might see this to mean, and then maybe down here, if they hold this, maybe a drive out to 705. So I'm willing to play both ways. I'm not in a rush to play this morning. I'm really zero rush at all. All right, VIX. Trap between the two. All right, in a range. We can flip this. All right, you can see upside pressure in the market will come if VIX starts breaking underneath 1780, 1750 for that dive down to 17. All right, we get this, then the Qs in the ES likely see relief. All right, otherwise, you can see what I mean about the rotation. Everything at the moment is pointing towards a fairly choppy market. Dixie, all right, big bid off that blue zone. That's a strong sentiment here from Dixie, and if that can keep going, that will be weakness in the market. All right, so we went into a range. We held the bottom of the blue zone. We've held it again, the top of the blue zone. If this starts going, that's where real pressure from a macro point of view is going to come on the market. So we are watching that. We are absolutely watching that this week. All right, mags, gapping up here slightly. I'll move to a 5 minute. Or coming back down to flat now. All right, so mag, neutral point, no real big gap up or gap down. All right, remember we gapped down Thursday to Friday. We've gone sideways since. You can see the liquidity is being built out. We'll see if there's downside pressure. I'd like pops up here before we think about that really, if we're going to see that move. Again, earnings coming later in the week. Software coming back in. Reason that's coming back in, you've guessed it, is chips have found a bid here. All right, so software had the ability to hold, couldn't, it's gone back into a range. You can see if software gets weak under 91s, we're coming 90s, and then all the way down here to 88.5s. But this is the big one here. It's SOXL. All right, let's call that bid. Let's get rid of that. And you can see it's fairly clear pivots here where we broke down. And it's just trying to claw back. All right, one there. And up here. And then this guy can come down. All right, so we'll watch SOXL. Remember, this thing likes to squeeze, but we are gapping up. Right, gap was down here at 35, so we're already up at 45. So we're coming into a big resistance point. So support became resistance. First test coming up. All right, we'll see how we act here at sort of 150s. If we get follow through downside, again, if it's one of these, or do we just get to a mean reversion and chop around Monday, Tuesday? I think that's probably what's going to happen. If they get acceptance over 150s, 162s is on deck, right? For that neutral point. All right, and then that would be a lift with the Qs up to there if they do see that. So we're watching 150s, 162 to 165 today, SOXL. Let's have a look at the individual names quickly. Apple, right, new all-time highs last week. That looks absolutely awful on Friday, but we are holding a key pivot here and we're failing to break but above the highs. I would not be surprised to see this thing need to come down here and have a recheck at some point this week. We will see slight gap down, but almost opening up neutral. All right, we don't really want to be selling that right now. We're swing long in it, and we're up, I don't know, 60+% on that already. Amazon coming back down in. We did undercut. All right, so Tuesday's low got swept on Friday, and an instant bid off it. This is still the level we can set like an alert there, that Tuesday's low if we need. But that's the level right now they need to hold against. You can see head and shoulder formation at the highs on a micro time frame and back down to the lows. And the problem is if this is fractal, right, then this can happen. So we'll watch that this week. In fact, I will put a little alert in there for the neckline break. Let's just do it just a little bit above. So I remember for Amazon. All right, Goog. Back into its node, the same blue zone we've been in for a while. Remember, we undercut this earlier a few weeks ago. I'm sure we did. Yes, down here. Back end of June, we reclaimed it in July. We pushed off it in July, and we're back to that same level. If we zoom out of here, it's starting to become very, very important. All right, we cannot get through this LVN where we broke down from, right, in May. Until they find acceptance through that, that is a problem, because bulls probably just got trapped in that and we're back to where we were. So it's all on earnings, folks. I cannot say it enough. A lot of this stuff is all on earnings this week. Lots of people caught both sides, right? Meta still holding the blue box really, really well. But again, it needed to hold this range. It's failed to hold this range, and we're now seeing pressure against this range. So Meta 650 equals pressure downside down to these 620s. Reclaim 650, we go back in range, back to upside 675, 680. Right, so under 650, probably going to see pressure. Over 650, if they can find acceptance, 680s. So again, earnings for all of these. Nvidia finding a bid with semis, but I mean, I would say this is quite clearly backside right now, all right, at least of this time frame. And if we zoom out of this, it's starting to look a bit dangerous here. If it can't get through 210, 205s, all right, we're going to keep retesting this double bottom bid into 197s. If we can hold 205s, 210s, there's an argument to build liquidity out for the rip higher. But at the moment, it's just washing backwards and forwards. Same with most of the mag, right? Rotation. Tesla, same kind of story. All right, huge rejection 2 weeks ago now. Was it 420s? Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago, 420 rejection. We lose the bottom side of the range. Here's the cross that we put in for Thursday and Friday. All right, we lost 90s. That's still kind of our over-under. That is our over-under right now. So if they come up here, this is going to dictate whether we come back for pressure downside or whether they're going to find acceptance back inside the old range. So I'd be watching 390s today. See if they find acceptance. 85s you can watch lower time frame, but really you'd want to squeeze up to 390s for it to make a decision. Much better. All right, and that's pretty much it. And we are now open, folks. Again, not in a rush here. Expecting rotation and chop. Nice and patient. And we'll see how far we can get. This is the LVN off the higher time frame. All right, yes, trying to have a push up this morning. SPY looks like it might want to try and get to 5-day 750 if it can. IGV popped to fail. MAG pretty much flat on that opening drive. They popped, pulled back, hit previous day high, pulled back. Semis pulled back to VWAP, finding a bid off VWAP. Hands are off the mouse and just going to let this do whatever it is it needs to do. Turn this up a bit. I skipped softy, did I? Sorry if I did. All right, ES trying to get going here. Software having a push up. MAG holding on, bidding off VWAP at the moment. SOXL coming back to VWAP again. And it's quite clear rotation started this morning already. I don't know if we're going to fail in this LVN and come right back down to previous day's value. I would rather see a push up and buyers get caught if we're going to do that move. I don't really want to fight against it. All right, big bid off VWAP on SOXL. IGV now closed the gap, through the gap. MAG trying to bid off VWAP as well. This is what I want to see. This is good. All right, and really higher better on this and see if bulls get caught or not. It might be that we just sort of go into a sideways grind Monday, Tuesday, and I'm also okay with that. I'm also absolutely okay with limiting my trades Monday, Tuesday. A retest up here would be fantastic. I don't know if it's got the juice to do that today, though. There you go, semis, pre-market high here on semis. 162 on semis would be fantastic for us if they can squeeze all the way up here and then we can make a decision. All right, IGV back through previous day close. MAG's the one that's struggling here. MAG looks all right this morning though. Nvidia 1.84% up, Meta 0.5% down. Sorry, Microsoft 0.5% down, Meta 0.25% down, Google 2.14% up, Amazon 0.68% up, Apple 0.5% down. MAG's about 0.5% up, equally weighted 0.38% up. Big seller up here. Don't know if he's a liquidity provider, but there's a 1,000 lot at 150 right now. Most of the EMAs, if you're looking trend frame pro, most of them are neutral right now. It says everything you need to know. This is probably going to need a back test and then make a decision. So how high can we come here? Can we get up to previous week's value and make a decision up there? Or is this going to be a sweep up here and then failures? QQQ might want to close its Thursday to Friday gap. 706s basically. This is what we went over pre-market. Wouldn't mind if it can do that, become an efficient market, close that gap. Software a little stuff there. MAG trying to get going, tested previous day high again and failed again. SOXL at high of day here or pre-market high, trying to see if it can squeeze at the moment. Higher the better. Up here would be fantastic if we can get all the way up here to previous week's value area low. There is a bid at the moment trying to walk this market up. That 1,000 not skipped up to 200, so I'm going to assume he's a liquidity provider or some form of spoof at the moment. We're starting to struggle here, even though there is a bid trying to walk it up. Qs feel like they want that gap fill on the QQQ. All right, breaking out here on semis. Software coming back in. Mag still struggling. So it's the semis move again. There we go. Let's get volume on him. Forgot. Sorry, folks. I forgot volume. Sorry. Just see that now to put it on. REN pushing. Yeah, lots of those names were pushing with the semis this morning. So Rigetti, MBTS, IREN, IONQ. I'm waiting to see if we can come up here. Big 150 lot buyer starting to get a little bit caught up here. How much more juice have they got? So 150 lot just came in on the tape at 140s. Previous day high is up at 220s, and then value area high, value area low from previous week. Another 72 lot here, starting to get caught on the bid. It just keeps slamming in. They're going to need a squeeze higher soon. Qs, I think, wants gap fill. Mag is struggling. It's flat, but I mean, it's not flat on the day. It's up, but this 5-minute bar doesn't look too great right now. He's trying to soak view up. I think Qs want 706. I think that's what this is. They need that gap fill. You just wonder, can semis get to 162 today? Might be asking too much for them. Where's previous week value area low? And it is at 270s. This blue line up here. Still they're walking up. It's 30,000 this year possible. Yeah, absolutely. It's only 800 points away. Of course, it's definitely possible. Even a squeeze out would do that. All right. And still they bid. Big Boy's just left the tape. Let's see if he's moved higher or not. No, he's just left the tape altogether. So that 1,500 lot was a spoof this morning, trying to lift the market higher. Thanks, Elliot. That's a lovely message. What a nice message to read on a Monday morning. You're welcome, my friend. All right, software trying to keep going. Pulling back here in the SOXL, testing pre-market high here. If they can't hold the bid here, then VWAP and previous day high. So this is a key level here, 146, 147 here, SOXL. Because they've just broken out, and if they can't hold it, they will start to get stuck. We are definitely in rotation here this morning. All right, over here, we are definitely in rotation. Move this in. Right, we don't have alignment of these yet. Starting to see failures here now. Okay, I'm starting to put my interest here now. If software can't hold that pre-market high, which it can't. Big buyer coming in here, 122 lot at 121s. So I'm going to watch here if they start to stuff 40s here. If they just reclaim 40s, I'm not interested. But if we start to stuff 40s, it's going to hurt my interest. There is still liquidity above. I need to see a drive up and 40s get sold into here for me to get involved. I really don't want to chase this. You can see an LVN down here. Here's the move to 40s. This is what's going to become important. Watching this now. They're still lifting at the moment. Still no trade. Do they want to lift through and make a new high here? Looks like they do. Software back to high of day. That thing's whipping around. Semi's trying to hold the bid here at that pre-market level. Right, there's a 140 move. Missed that. Missed that looking over my shoulder. Hey, never mind. Missed that looking over my shoulder. I'm watching these on a side monitor right now. They're all trying to lift, so I don't want to be early. This would be the best level if we can come up here and retest up here, and Qs can get up to, what's the actual gap fill? 705.93. The 140 is definitely, they're trying to keep that buyer stuck right now. I'm not convinced it's done yet, but that is definitely what's starting to happen. We need to be careful if they flip this. This is the LVN. So dips can start to hold this previous week LVN here. If we get under there, that's where real pressure will start again. Good hold there on the semis. Looks like it's got more. I haven't missed anything, which is good. Maybe a second leg up. Here. Yeah, that would be good. Going to flip this as well so I don't forget, because that is a higher time frame LVN that can hold now. Oh, you legend. Thank you. What a nice one there. You okay? Yeah. Long coffees, me too. Long coffee beans. Oh, Monday morning. You might think, why am I being so cautious? It's more about the higher time frame right now. We're not in alignment. So hourly's pushing, daily's in a sell. We've left that big value area. So I don't really want to get bullish. I'm thinking this week I'm going to wait for a retest. Remember, I like to trade in alignment, so I'm waiting to see if there's a retest of the key level and if sellers are still there. If they're not still there and we reclaim previous week's value, then we're going to look for rotations of value of previous week. So I'm waiting to see if we can come up here at the moment. Just being very, very patient. It's a Monday morning, a whole week ahead of us. Long week ahead of us here. Guess what? Alex, Spain won. Yeah, they did. What an awful game of football. But thank God the Argentinians lost because they didn't play football. What they just wanted to do was assault people, kick them, scream, do all the usual bullshit that they do. They got away with it for much of the match. Should have been so many more yellow cards and red cards. McAllister should have had a yellow for the 2-footer. Pederez should have been off. He should have had 10 million yellow cards. It's an absolute joke. He ended his match with a red card by throttling a guy around the throat. Fans threw stuff at the ref, threw stuff at the Spanish guys. You saw the same in the rugby yesterday. So to my surprise, they threw a punch at the opening try that England scored. They grabbed another guy by the neck. The fans threw drinks at the referee. There will be bans and sanctions both in the RFU and FIFA for them. I mean, it is just disgusting. If you're an Argentinian fan, I don't know what to say. It is disgusting behaviour. And I can't wait to see them come back to the Premier League because I don't think they realise how badly they are about to get booed. Saying that they love the English. Enzo, I love the English because they do all my cleaning in my house. Well, mate, good luck at Chelsea because you, my friend, are about to be outcast from Chelsea. And I don't like Chelsea, but I tell you what, they will turn on you. They will turn on you real quick. All right, gap fill almost there on QQQ. All right, the Thursday, Friday gap's almost done. Semi's continuing to push, so they held that pre-market. It's a great hold from them. 150s is the next stop on semiconductors. IGV turning back inside. MAG now finding a bid aggressively through previous day high, and that thing's setting out now for a move up. It's into its old gap, so that thing can come up to 67.75 on the MAGs today, which would be the old lows to test that pivot if they do get going. Big buyers getting caught here again at these highs. Very, very aggressive buyers again at these highs. That's previous day open we just tagged up here as well. So I will watch this again because that is a very, very aggressive buyer up there. I'd say about 300 lots traded around 87 to 90. And QQQ did just fill, remember this, previous day open, we've just filled the gap. So I'm watching this now, and that's a big reaction off it. Big reaction, that should be normal. It's a reaction. I'm going to watch this short side. If they start to fail there, we've left some buyers caught at 87s. I'd much rather we come up here, but we'll see. And where did those other big buyers come in? 40s and 21s. So if we can't hold 40s, if we come down here to 40s, then we're going to do the rotation from basically 90 to 40. And if we start failing 40s, we're going to go 40 20s, and under that we're going to see big fails. So this is the move towards 40s. I'm waiting to see if pops come back upside, and if they leave these buyers. I'm currently flat. I'm watching these buyers up here who are stuck right now at 87s, but they've been aggressive buying all morning so far. And that gap fill was all it wanted. QQQ, that was the level. That was the level in towards 706s. Needed to be efficient. So this is the 40 check. Hopefully they pop up from here from 40 and they come back towards the 80 to 90. And then we see it get stuffed maybe between 65 and 76. And that would be a lower high. And then once we break 40s, that would be the snap. Here comes the squeeze up. Can we come a bit higher here? 65 towards 75 is what I'm looking for. If they can lift up there and then stuff them. Don't be like last week and just run away. I want to see you lift and stuff. It's the 40 level. Come on. I got to see you come up. And I won't just sell into this on the push up. I need to see them get stuck because there's still front side technically. So I'm looking for a lift into this LVN and to see buyers come in and get caught, and then we can start getting a feeler on. And if we break 40s and 20s, we start getting more aggressive. But it's got to come up for us here. $40s letting go. Come on, please. You're so mean, market. You're just like last week. You won't quite come to my levels. Oh dear. Doesn't want to come up. Maybe a VWAP bounce, please. Oh dearie dear. IGV getting cracked. MAG back down to previous day high in VWAP. Am I going to be right here without an entry? It feels like it, doesn't it? It's already under 140. You lose 120 and the bid's gone. This is reminding me, I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday, where I waited patiently. Here we go, you're under 120. Oh my God, you bastard of a market. I waited so patiently, you wouldn't come to me. God damn it. You mother clucker. So patient, so patient. So if you did take that, you can take a partial into this LVN here. And you'd need 40s now to stay heavy. If 20 stays heavy, it's great, but really you want 40s to stay heavy. Otherwise, we're going to get the move back to 65 to 74, which is where I wanted my entry. You already hate Enzo as a Chelsea fan. You mean because of this World Cup, or you hated him anyway? There's the crack. I'm going to have to try and get involved if they flush 20s here, flail 20s. Here we go, folks. And we can come right back down to low of day now if they really want. So there's an LVN here down to 60. Which would be 100 points, and it won't let me in. This fucking market. It's upsetting when you can see it, when you're patient, when you wait, and it won't let you in. His face gives bad vibes. What are you talking about? He's a fucking knob. All right, here you go, folks. Hopefully this keeps staying heavy for you now. So you're looking for 115 to 125 to stay heavy. If you're in this short, if you took it from there, or you took the gap fill, you took any of that, you look good. Pay yourself a little bit and see if you can add on into the winner. It's looking good now. That's 100 points now already. Don't tilt on a Monday morning. All right, this is LVN, higher time frame. All right, so just remember, this is previous week LVN. It was red. We flipped it to blue because we're above it. If we come under it, you're going to see much more weakness. Now, this is your sort of TP point here. There is an unfinished auction at 58 and at 26. Oh my God, Alex. Oh, what a way to start a week. Fuck me. This is why I didn't long, because this is what I was waiting for. But you know, once we filled the gap, all right, and if you look at QQQ, right, this was the Thursday, Friday gap fill. This was the efficient market, and all I was looking for was a pop into here to let me in. Nope. Chew. Ugh. God damn it. God damn it. Markets are cruel, man. They're cruel. See it and can't get in it. Remember, higher time frame, daily, weekly, etc., is in a sell, which is why I wanted to focus on the sell. Remember, from here, this was the level. This is basically the range, the 3-month range that we've lost. This, for me, can be a 2-leg pullback into there. We're starting to stuff it. If we come under this, all right, we're going to look for a sell. If we come into value, we're going to rotate value, and under value, we can look for lower prices this week. This is what we went over pre-market. Hopefully some of you got it. Did any of you get a piece of this? Hopefully some of you got a piece of it, and you can hold runners now. I need a pop-up here. I need to watch basically from 82s up to 120 if we can pop up there. Lots of you got it. Fantastic. So you're up 100 points or whatever. That's all that matters. Congratulations, folks, if you got it. I'm very, very, very happy for you. And I'll show you where sentiment came from, all right? This was what's important. We went over this pre-market. QQQ filled its gap, all right? This is the resistance level. It will come on here in a minute. Yellow line. Where are you, QQQ? Are you gonna show us your gap fill? Oh, it's here. There you go. That's the gap. So it's there or thereabouts. All right, and we're finding a bid off this LVN. So if we bid up and then sell versus 704's QQQ would be good. All right, we want pops to fail here, and maybe Alex can get involved. We'll be careful if we reclaim 85. We'll go 125. So we'll see. Moving this thing fast. ES back to VWAP, 24-hour VWAP, so it's doing the New York to 24-hour shuffle. Semi's trying to hold on to mid of the range. I need to wait for this to come a little bit higher for me to short. I need to build out this right shoulder here for me to short into. All right, and then little cup and handle kind of move, reverse, inverse cup and handle, but I want to see it come up here. Don't really want to get short in this LVN here. In it, but tough to know what to do with one micro, hold or TP. Well, I don't know where you got in crumpled, and I don't know what kind of account you're doing. But what you could do is just, you know, if you got in at 76s, you could like move your stop down to 100, guarantee 70 points or something. Absorption there, not really. Not really. We're just doing the shuffle on the New York Open here, folks. I think a new low is probably going to come. We're probably going to come and sweep all of this. It's just whether they pop it first. And once we break that, we can get a bit of a liquidation break down to 980. I'm trying to get involved in this now. There's the sweep. Did we sweep this last little node? Not quite. 20s. Well, this is the right shoulder part being built out now, and your target is all the way down here now, folks. Oh my God. I cannot get in. I cannot get in. It will not let me in. So TP1 into here, and if you get expansion now, previous day value area high 940, 950. All right, so TP1 is here. You've just swept this, and if we start breaking this, right, we'll go backside and we can come down into this for a gut check. Remember, none of this has got swept pre-market. None of these players have been swept pre-market, so there's a good chance we can go and sweep them all out. I would love it to come up here for me. It just doesn't want to. There we go, continuation here. So your target's now down here, guys. 50s to 40s. We're going to sweep all these guys out. So hopefully a liquidation break of 82s. We get you down to 50s and 40s. Semi's getting absolutely hammered now. If semis start to fail 44, 50 on a turn back upside, that would be a good sign. Big seller at these lows. Be careful. Big seller at these lows. Huge seller at these lows. He's trying again and again and again and again. Can we move up here? Off him. There we go. Oh, you're going to give me an entry here if you lift a bit. All right, semis are going to watch these 44s, previous day high, if they've swept or if they stay heavy versus it. We can watch opening range and New York Open and value area low here on the market. One pops to fail now if I'm going to look for downside pressure down to previous day value. Come on. You got to lift a bit. I can't sell these lows as a seller here. I got a feeling we're just going to nuke all day without me here. This seller's going to get his way. We're going to break down. Here we go. All right, you know your targets, guys. VWAP, 950, 940. Those are your targets. Under this, we go into a rotational play. Do I think we can see, what did you say, 500? Do I think we can see 500 today? Look, it's possible, but you know, one step at a time, right? We've got, first of all, the first trade setup, right, was QQQ gap fill. We would have liked to see us build out liquidity there for this move. All right, so TP1 or TP1, TP2, TP3. Once we get here, right, they might want to hold this bid and come upside. So let's forget about thinking about 500 right now. Let's just trade what's in front of us. There's no point trying to get a magic ball out, right? QQQ gap fill, failure to LVN, under LVN, VWAP, previous day value area high. These are your low hanging fruits. In here, we go rotation here. And if we lose that, here, all right? This is the rotation. So you're coming into low-hanging fruit at the moment. One step at a time, like one type of trade at a time. At the moment, we're coming for a retest of value area high. So we didn't quite get up to previous week value area low. We're going to retest previous day value area high. So anywhere in here is a TP. All right, anywhere in there is a big TP. Your other TPs were here, weren't they? This is, remember, the higher time frame, low volume node, which we've flipped. All right, so I would need to see that stay heavy for downside pressure. We get back above that, we can be bullish again. Bullish lower time frame, not bullish overall. And we watch ES here as it pops up towards VWAP and maybe 530 for a retest. Semis rejecting previous day high there on a retest. So VWAP, previous day high, semis becoming important. IGV getting sold off. MAG getting absolutely nuked. Now gone green to red. All right, green to red. Where's the big seller? He came in at around the 99 level, where we just retested, basically. He's still comfortable. You can just call it 29,000. All right, so you're into your TP zone. And beyond this, all right, the only way we will add now is we will need to build liquidity down here, and we will need to rotate. If we're going to add lower prices, right, we're either going to reject this, or we're going to come under here and rotate value. All right, but this is why this is a take profit zone. And if we rotate value, we can think about it. That's a different trade setup. But if you're still holding a runner from here and we start rotating it, it's going to give you a really good core position. But your low hanging fruit right into here, we've basically done it. So you want to be locking in a good chunk of change there, folks. All right, that's the move we wanted. It's done it. Pass. Thank you, Alex. Well, it sounds like lots of you got it. I was every time waiting to get filled, couldn't get filled. Right, this LVN is going to become important now. You're going to have to watch the semis here. They're at previous day high, retesting it now. If they get back above and base and hold, they're going to go for pre-market high, and that thing can squeeze. You know what it's like on that thing, so make sure you've paid yourself some. We'll see if this thing is going to let me get involved at all today. It looks like we want the higher time frame LVN recheck, maybe towards 50s here. And if they get through that, they can squeeze all the way up here again. When we broke down from, remember, we didn't create any structure there where I was waiting. All right, MAG finding a bid, so they've just gone red to green. Definite rotation today. Definite rotation. Big shove up here on semis, back through VWAP, back through previous day high. And I would think we'll come back up towards this New York Open 950. And if we squeeze through 950, I'm going to assume we're going to go the 100s pretty quick up here. So I want to see if we reject 50 or if this is going to go all the way up to 900, 920s. 900, sorry, 100. 29,100, sorry. Oh, get your levels in, mate. So wait and see how we act here. Squeeze up to 50s. Market's finding a bid here. This is also previous day high on QQQ. And if they squeeze through here or not. If they squeeze through here, I'm going to imagine 120s is on like Donkey Kong. So this is a big level here. So there's little stuff there so far. They're trying to absorb 40s at the moment. There's some selling at 50s. All right, I've got a little bit of risk on here. I don't feel particularly good about it, but seeing as I've missed one trade already, let's just see if we can get something to go for us. Here we go. Right, and I need to see this stay heavy under this last seller at 27s here. This is good. Right, moving my stop into the money. There's good stuff of 50s. And I want to see 27s, 28 stay heavy here. And then I want to see us get under 29,000 because we built a shelf out down here. So this LVN I'm going to have to respect and take a partial into it. This is my partial, took a partial into that just in case we hold this shelf. because if we want to do a second leg higher, I'm okay with that. Pay myself stops in the money. I've lost prime position. This is just how it is. I do not want to see us get back through 28s here. We keep testing it. The reason I'm saying that is where the last seller came in. Let's see if they shake this out and work it. Or see if they want to come back through 50s for 120. Good. Now get a new low. You'll get through this chunk of liquidity underneath us. Come on, semis. Do that little 5-minute bear flag and break down for me. Here we go. We got to get through this shelf now. Lovely. Come on. What do you mean, Alex Trade coming? I'm in it. don't try and like shake me out of a trade when I've like been sat here all morning helping you, Phantom. You bugger. Stop trying to wish for me to get stopped out. That's so horrible. On a Monday morning, praying for me to be stopped out. Get out of it. You horrible bugger. All right, I've locked some in here, and it's just a question now if we're going to break down or not. And I'm very, very aware that we might not want to, right? Like if they put the low in, if they're happy with this low, God, I'm trying to hold this. Reason I paid myself, right, here's the 50 rejection. Remember I said, I think we're going to come up for 50. I've paid myself here because if they hold this, we're going to do second leg. If they reject this, then we can break down and I might get this move if I get very, very lucky. Some short from here, like, are called, and we'll just wait and see. ES coming into a put wall as well. I need to be careful here. QQQ, that 700 is a massive level. It was a put wall last week. It's now a call wall today. All right, 700 QQQ is your under over. We're basically there. So if you are short with me, you need to have paid yourself something. You really want the second leg? Yeah, I mean, what, the second leg higher? I'm okay with that if he wants to come up here. The problem is, right, if they give us a second leg, right, and they're going to come up here, you have to know that this is the higher time frame LVN, and it's a big under over. So if they hold that, they can then do this horrible move here. You need to be aware of that, right? We're in a rotation. I'm going to show you over here. All right, so MAG this morning pushed and failed, and that's your red to green level. Software doesn't know what to do. And this is your semis pushed and failed, and we need to stay heavy here for a breakdown. If we see MAG and semis break lower without reclaiming, that would be good for us. Looking for lower prices. If they need to come back upside, so be it. There is a bid trying to hold 29,000 here, folks. So if they get through the 28s, they're going to look for the 50s and then the 120s. Just be aware of that. Nice. Come on. Someone trying to hold the bid down here. I'm going to remove this now. Someone trying to hold the bid down there. It's LVM. Yeah, there is a bidder on this market. He's backing at 29,000. ES into its put wall. All right, 515s, your put wall ES. Neutral zone spiders, 745. QQQ holding 700. Remember, 700, big over-under, has been for months, especially as of last week. Last week we broke it Thursday, Friday, or was it Friday or Thursday? I don't remember. I'll have a look. We definitely broke it Friday. Yeah, we broke under it Friday. We're back over it. So it's a big, big sentiment shift area. MAG finding a bid. So when we opened up green, we gapped up, we flushed under PDC. We've reclaimed PDC. It looks like they might want to come and test VWAP here. And then see. Are they going to break down for us here? It would be really nice if they would. Here's VWAP again. Semi's close to breaking lower day here. Come on. Can we get a new low? Semi's new lower day. Come on, NQ. Let's flush it. Let's go, baby. Give me previous day value area high, and then see if we can rotate then. Let's go. So looking for this for a cover, and then seeing if we can rotate to POC if they really want to do it. Looks good. Everything's looking good right now. Semi's flushing. They might want to come 140s. Mag's holding on. Software's selling with semis. Mag now starting to flush down a little bit more. I would say flush down, but trying to test its PDC towards that level. So we want pops to stay heavy here. I'm probably going to move my stop into around here, 86 to 93s. Here we go. All right, partial. And let's see if we can rotate value. Let's fucking go. Oh my God, who's your daddy? All right, let's see. Runners now only to see if we can get down into this. All right, so this is value from yesterday. I expect buyers to try and hold this dotted blue line. If they fail to hold this dotted blue line, we will go rotation. All right, so this is Friday's value. If they can't hold this, I'm going to expect this move. If they can't hold this, I'm going to expect this move. We're positioned short from here, remember. So I'll add on. If they build significant liquidity and can't get back above this, I'll look for the add. I'm not going to add for just as we get into here. How do we get in? We got in here. Remember I said 50s. We got in at 50s. Some of you got in up here where I was trying to get in and it wouldn't let me in. It's a 100-point trade here, folks. Who's your daddy? How did I know about the 50s? Well, it was Confluence, wasn't it? All right, so what was 50s? It's current week, point of control. It's last week's LVN level. It's New York VWAP above it. It's New York Open, all right? It's a big Confluence level. Above this, lower time frames bullish. Below this, lower time frames bearish, all right? Big level. It's the level we marked out pre-market, all right? So if I would take you to an hourly, if you come over here, can you see this LVN, right, where we marked it? And it's a pivot, all right? Pivot low, low volume node. All right, this is our over-under. Over that, we're looking for a squeeze into that to then sell. Under this, we're looking for what? Well, this can be a two-leg. Like I said, we can go backside on this two-leg. I'd be surprised if they do it on a Monday. I would actually like to see Monday, Tuesday hold up, and we get to sell Wednesday, Thursday. If we go lower Monday, Tuesday, then I think they will probably trap and use earnings as a bid up. So, you know, I don't want us to really go too low today if we're going to look for lower prices overall. All right, there you go. Look at this. This is holding now, okay? So previous days, value area high, finding the bid. Buyers trying to protect that. That's why we take partial into it. Now, if we get back over 900s here, I'm done with the trade. Mag trying to hold on red to green. Buyer coming in there. 71 lot at 980. Still looks good to me. If we get through 900s, finished. All right. Delay on live. The max delay on live is 6 seconds. I've got it set to the fastest it can be, folks. So if you've got more than that, you might want to refresh your browser or check your internet. Sellers getting caught at these lows now. I expect this to come and test 900 now. There is a seller who just confirmed he's caught at 55s there. I'm about to stop out here, and I'm happy stopping out here. I can always get back in for the value rotation if we pop up above 900. That's absolutely fine. Yes, I mean not 29,000. Sorry, my fucking eyesight's a joke. 29,000 is VPOC. Yes, I mean 29,000. Sorry. 9,000. Too many nines on the screen. Crap Nasdaq since 3 weeks. I mean, I would agree with you until last week. Last week we broke out. This is good now. This is what we want. This is what we expect. This is good. All right, out of this now. Let this do whatever it wants. Now, the only thing I'll be looking at now, right, is if we come back under here and get stuck for a rotation down. Right, if they reclaim this, then I think buyers will come and test up here. Right, so this is the higher time frame LVN. This is current days LVN. I don't want to fight this. Right, so I'll consider what happens here. I'll also consider a failure to break down in there, but at the moment we're seeing pressure in the market. So out this now and just waiting. So we secured what, 100 plus points on that. Some of you probably secured 200 points on that. It's pretty good. And if it's the Alex trade, it's the Alex trade. I don't mind because I can get back in if we confirm we're going into rotation of previous day's value. It's a 700 test here, QQQ. It's a big level here, folks. It's a really big level here on the Qs. Mag just did the retest towards VWAP we kind of talked about. So I'm going to just show you what I'm looking at on the side monitor. All right, Mags, this is what we're talking about, the two-leg. It might need, here's your red to green line. All right, so we opened up positive, we pushed, we failed, it's PDC. There's your two-leg. If they keep stuffing this, they're going to look for downside. All right. Soxal. All right. Push into supply, failed, rotation, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, not above New York Open. Anything in here likely to get stuffed, and gap fills down here into 35s. So it's possible. And I'm going to watch this here as it's just done the Alex trade to me. What a bugger. Ran me out by 5 points. And I'll watch this level here. Either if we're going to see acceptance inside value for a rotation, or they're going to fail to move under value and they're going to trap sellers down here. I'm open to either, but I'm certainly not going to be early on the buy. Can you explain the Tyson trade? Well, you've got 10 minutes till 12 minutes left of the Tyson trade. There's two Tyson trades. It's either initial balance expansion or a mean reversion to VWAP off the IB. That's all it is. It's either a failed auction, failed to go higher or failed to go lower, or, which would be a rotation back into mean, or it is an expansion model where we expand the initial balance by 50%. Still holding this 700 QQQ. It's really, really big level. Look, QQQ, this was the put wall, is now a call wall for the day. All right, 700. It's right here. It's a really, really big level. We start losing that heaviness, it can get very, very weak, this market. I'd say low-hanging fruits have gone. This is now, we have to be careful on the H1 here because they can bid to the H1 here. Right, just zoom out. Remember to zoom out. Remember, the main trade is down. All right, our main trade is we've left 3 months of value. So we're looking for downside pressure. Right, 3 months of value. We're looking for downside pressure. Here's the multi-leg up. We need to be careful here. Need to be really careful here. All right, there's your rotation from Friday. There's the bottom, there's the resistance, which can become support. We don't want to get short into this really, so we're going to have to really, really be careful if we're going to look for that rotation. But this here was a very nice trade. Unfortunately, couldn't get filled where I wanted for that. And again, as always, my only hope is that you guys are learning. The reason I didn't look long this morning, I wanted to let it push up higher and then get involved for the short. All right, starting to come under the 700s here on the Qs. Right, so we're breaking into yesterday's value. So if we start to fail 950s here, as in a back test of it, if we stay heavy, they might rotate all the way down to 840s. If they reclaim 950s, or let's just say if they reclaim 70s to be safer, right? If they do a little failure into yesterday's value. So here's the next range. So we're either going to see this or we're going to see this back out. All right, and I'm open to either. Qs failing 700. This thing's starting to get heavy. IGV new low of day, semis new low of day. This thing's really starting to get heavy here. I need pops, man. I need pops. Waiting to see if we can come back up to 50s towards that level. Not going to short low days for sure. Coming into key pivots here on the SOXL as well. It might find a bid here. If it doesn't, then we're going to go pre-market low and close the gap. MAG trying to find a bid. It's trying to put in a higher low on an M5. It's just in a range at the moment. So I'm going to wait here for a lift and see if they trap buyers trying to get back above 950. I'll get short. If we squeeze above 950 and 970 and we hold sellers caught at the lows, then I'm going to get long. And I know you're like, why? It's because this is going to make the decision if this is a failed look into value or if it's confirmed value rotation. And at the moment, we can't even get up to 50s. Everything's being sold again. This is like the first trade of the day when I wanted to be involved and it wouldn't pop up to a level. Bro, you're the best. I was $100 away from blowing my funded. What, and you now made money for the day? That's good. Alex, you rock. I made 900 today. Got a bounce. Take care, mate. Have a good day, Willy Wonka. All right, Semi's holding that bid on that pre-market level. So there is a bid confirmed there. That's a strong bid as well. MAG coming down to test PDC. IGV also finding a bid. So rotation starting to take place again. So software trying to find a bit of a bid. Semi's definitely finding a bid off that RBS level, and MAG weak. That's the story so far. Rotations. While we're going to be careful. Monday, Tuesday, I think we're in for rotation. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think we're going to get a big trade. So I'm going to try and be very, very careful. Now, if we break above, let's just say above 29,000, we start to hold the bid, I'm going to look for longs. This is starting to look pretty good here. It's VWAP. VWAP is flat at the moment. If we're going to start to hold value, I think there's a long back up for relief. I want to see if pullbacks start to hold now. So my inclination here is to look for longs now because we can't find acceptance inside previous day's value. So let's see if they can hold a higher low there on a pullback in, and then if we start to get back inside today's value. 29,000 check coming. I'd like a pullback at the moment towards 50s to hold and set a higher low. So what I'd like, if I'm going to get long, I want to see this and this. Okay, and then we're going to target this area here. We're going to have to get through this. So we want to see this, and then we can trigger long to come and clean out these stops, and we're going to target this area and this area. It's got a pullback, hold, and then push higher. Not before that, I'm not touching it. QQQ back above the 700. This has got to pull back a bit more for me here. This looks like it's going to just do it. Here it goes. All right, here's 29,000. If you got that pullback, it didn't come quite deep enough for me yet again. And you want to be peeling some off into 29,000, and above 29,000 would mean acceptance back inside of value. And then you want to target, I would say target VWAP and then target 82s up to 120s. And this is point of control from the current week. So this is a big level here. So you should have peeled some off. I'm still waiting to get involved in this. Missed my entry there again. Need SPCX to stop crash landing. Complete joke. What's the joke? What's the joke? I fucking warned you guys. That thing can go much, much lower. I don't know why anyone's buying it. It's got hardly any float, and it's valued at trillions of dollars, and it makes billions of dollars of losses. And everyone's like, well, it can purchase this company, and it's going to buy this company. Oh, great. So it's going to add more debt. It's going to add more debt onto its book by buying a company. So that's positive. Why exactly? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The amount of retail caught in that. Oh, I bought 200. I thought it was going to go to 1 million because someone came out and put a price target of 800 on it. Yeah, of course they did. They want retail caught. All right, I'm trying to get involved in this. Can you fucking let me get involved? Well, this is it. This is the shuffle. This is what I just drew out for you. It didn't come deep enough. It's being naughty. That was it. And above this, this is the move. Here comes the bid. It'll be 10 years before it's profitable. You don't even know that it'll be profitable. You don't know that. It might never be profitable. Look at Lucid. Look at Lucid Motors. It's going to be the new Tesla. Yeah, bankruptcy news last week. Look at Rivian. What do they produce? How many cars a year do they produce? 13,000? Everyone said that was going to be the new Tesla. We just don't know. All we know that is for the first 3 months, the float will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're yet to get into earnings. We have no idea. Maybe it will be $200 again in 3 months' time. But I mean, why bother putting capital at risk at something where we're in price discovery? Crazy to me. Especially for swings. Like, so many better companies with earnings at a discount where we've gone through price discovery we can look at. I'm still waiting for this. As you can see, I'm just watching 80s to 68s. It will come down a bit here. That was an internal sweep there. I want to be very, very careful. Right, I want to see if this holds, and then this. This is what I'm looking for. I want to see a hold and then a proof of strength. Otherwise, this is still possible under here. So I want to be very, very, very careful here. If I'm going to get long, I do not want to be early. There is definitely seller exhaustion at the lows, without a shadow of a doubt. Semis back to VWAP. If those can squeeze through VWAP and previous day high, it will look good. Here we go. All right, feeding into this now. Let's see if we can start getting above VPOC here. I bought 80s there. Small size. And I want to see us base over 29,000. Come on, semis. Get back above previous day high here for me. Here we go. Come on. Yes. Here we go. Right. Let's see if we can get up here. So our targets are basically 45 to 50. And then we can target 82s to 97s. This is what the pattern I just put in for you. So this is it. Really good. Do, 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 do. 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 I want a big Super Mario mushroom candle here, please. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. We want every pullback here now to hold, yeah, 29,006 would be good. Coming into TPs here. Remember, we're counter trend. This is the LVN high time frame, so we're locking some in here, and we'll see if we can get relief all the way up to 85 to 125. All right. Remember, we're counter trend. Pay yourself some money. Move your stop in the money. We will see. This is New York Open above you. VWAP above you. LVN last week above you. How do I spot exhaustion? Two ways. One, watch the delta divergence at the lows. Two, I'm building an indicator for it. It literally says on the indicator, I'm not finished with it yet, so it's not for sale yet. But see this here? Delta divergence, followed by seller exhaustion, followed by the push. It's basically reading delta live. Yeah? All right, TP here. And it will have to hold bids above 29,000 now for any continuation up to here. We don't expect it, but if it does, great. We don't expect it though. But that's a nice trade. So 2 for 2 today. Didn't get all the move each time, but got a good chunk. Was I a singer before? Yeah, I was in a I was in a Super Mario Super Mario band. We just sang Super Mario covers. It was really good. I used to dress up as Luigi. Hey, it's me, Luigi. I can't make it available in Pinko for TradingView, not because I don't want to. TradingView can't read the data quick enough, my friend. It can't do it. I wish I could. I wish I could, bud. Maybe one day they will. Westlife, no, not Westlife, mate. I would have to be Irish to be in Westlife. Oh, did anyone see Robbie Williams' interview yesterday where the cocaine dropped out his nostril live on TV at the World Cup? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I thought he was supposed to be sober. I'm out of this now. It was on German TV. What an embarrassment. Literally a white rock dropped out of his nostril onto the microphone and he flicks it off. Mint out his mouth? I don't think so, mate. I think that's bugle out his blower, more likely than mint out of his mouth. Who got the bag? Oh, God. Isn't that a street song? It was out of his mouth if you watch it closely. Was it actually? Chalk. It was chalk. What's he got chalk for? He's not a referee. All right, Semi's getting a little bit caught here. It's going to be a struggle here now, guys, because we've got the relief. All right, so we were relief long here to here. I'm flat now again because I don't know now if they want to come and rotate value. All right, so I'm flat. Remember, I said we have to hold above 29,000 for me to hold. We're not. It's going to probably come and test down here again. They're going to have to make their mind up. Again, we're watching these. All right, we're watching these. Semis can hold this pivot. That's what they're testing at the moment. All right, so there's semis. They're testing that pivot. IGV looks good. MAG, trying to find a bid by the looks of it. Yeah, and this is VWAP on MAG. All right, so if we zoom out, MAG had a push this morning. This is VWAP. This is our over-under on MAG. Are they going to see continued pressure? Are semis going to come under the pivot? This is the question we're asking the market at the moment. I think we're probably just going to chop and chop and chop. And I think we're going to do it for 2 days. And I'm good with that because I think it was set up much better range Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is when the news is coming. Am I currently long? No, like I said, stop was 29,000, right? Has to hold 29,000, right? So I'm now out of this. If you want to bid here or here, that's fine. Makes sense to bid down here. But I got the relief that I wanted. I haven't been able to get much today. So I got this to here and I got this to here and I'm waiting. Like maybe they develop a bid here as we start. This is now point of control on the session, which is why I wanted us to hold over it. It's red line. I'm just being patient here because I know we're not in alignment. If we think about the H1, here, this is the danger of this market right now. All right, who's trapped? Who are the big players that are trapped, right? It's 3 months of buyers here that are trapped, right? Lower time frame, who's trapped? Probably sellers at these lows. Where's Friday's value? Here. What have we done this morning? Gapped up, pushed, failed in front of previous week, come back down to Friday's value. Look at this, resistance, resistance, resistance. We're holding a bid. All right, now the hard thing here is that if we want to get long, all we're playing, do you remember when I talk about what leg are we in? If we think about this, we're basically getting long in this part, right? And we need to be careful because we've only got this above us, right? So this, I imagine Monday, Tuesday will do this, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to do either this or this, right? It's either going to recover range or we're going to see expansion model. It's why I'm limiting trades today, all right? Because I understand the narrative. Not every day is an A+ scenario. This certainly is not. Once we let go of this, certainly let go of this, we're in expansion mode after finishing the pullback, all right? Think about this. We're in a pullback leg. It's not like we're buying down here, all right? We want to be very careful buying up there. And lots of you will be up. I don't know. How many points are most of you up today? How many points? Some of you would have got this whole move here, which is 200. Some of you maybe got 44s up to here, which is almost another 100 there. Some of you would have got this with me, which is 100. So you might be up 200, 300 points today already. There you go. Some of you up 200 points, 200, 250, 180, 50 plus, 100 plus, 200 plus. That's a lot of points. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right. It's really, really, really good. We can just relax for a minute, right? Let it develop the liquidity. Because I'm telling you, there's lots of guys out there who would be red today, who would have gone, oh my God, we're like, it's a fail break. We're going back to highs, not understanding that there's no real long higher time frame until we recover this. And there's lots of guys who are shorted down here without waiting to think like, oh, this is previous day's value area high. They might not want to move lower. They might bid this back to the LVN again. Look at the blue level, right? This is, we can flip this again to be red now, right? It was red at the beginning of the day. We flipped it to blue. It's red again now, right? That's sentiment. How would you rate bad, medium, very good in points? You can't rate bad, medium, good in points because the points are up to an ATR. But like the kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you got this move here, or this move here, or this move here, we don't need to get involved in this, do we? Right? This is our gray zone. Okay, this is point of control. We don't need. Remember, this area here, this red line is telling you that the market agrees that that's fair value. The easiest moves, at least in how I trade, is when the market is out of balance, all right? We're out of balance up here. That's why we slide down so aggressively, right? We're out of balance or we're holding above balance here, which is why we move up. This zone here is now balanced. Buyers and sellers agree that this price is fair value. It's why we're going sideways here. We don't need to become liquidity here, all right? We can wait patiently for the market to make a decision away from this now, right? We've had the easy money. Easy money, I missed it, you guys got it. Easy money, I got it. Easy money, I got it. hard money. We don't do that. We don't. Well, I don't do that. Maybe you guys do it. I try not to do it. Yeah. Take care, Vlad. Nice one, mate. Hey, Alex, asking again. What do you think of Lucid Pro new version versus Flex? They got a new Lucid Pro. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Lucid Pro. Let's have a look at the 50K. $111. Profit target 3K. Max loss 2K. End day drawdown. Daily loss limit 1,200. 4 minis. Funded rules. Payout profit target $500. Max loss limit 200. Still 1,200. Daily loss limit scale. Above initial trail. So there's it's a trailing account until you get above balance and then 60% above. What's the max payout on that? Let's have a look. Lucid Pro. Payouts. Minimum 500. What's the maximum? 90-10 split. To request a payout, your profits must exceed the buffer balance. 52.1. 2,500. I'd probably still trade Flex over that. Yeah, for me. No consistency on eval. Yeah, but on Flex, there's you can pass in 3 days, but there's no consistency on funded. I'd much rather have no consistency on funded, right, or like a really big one, than have no consistency on eval. You only get half your profits. That is true, Pocket. That is true. But how much have you? How much can you take on here? It doesn't look like that much. 2.5 is your max payout, and that's got to be over your buffer. So really, you've got to make $5,000. So it's the same, really, if you think about it. Right, you're going to have to make $5,000 to take $2,500 because you can only take above your buffer balance. So you're okay. Let's just be accurate. We're going to have to make $4,600 to take max payout on a 50K, which isn't bad, but yeah, I don't know. Horses for courses. I mean, if it works, if it's better for you, if you prefer it with how you trade, then that's how you should trade. Like, each to their own. Yeah, FZT&x Rapid's really good. Again, I keep forgetting to buy them. I'm going to write that down to do. Because I want to get those done and passed and paid out. All right. Where's QQQ? Still holding 700 level on the Qs. Software can't get back through VWAP. Semis can't get back through VWAP. MAG can't get back through VWAP. We are in a liquidity building stage of the market, though, I believe. And this is all about whether we're going to go back inside previous day's value or they're going to keep bidding out of this. I don't know which. Genuinely don't. NQU, cops, but you probably are behind on data. If you don't pay for futures data, CME data feed, you're likely going to be behind on data, which is why it might not look the same. But NQ1, NQU is the same contract, but if you can't see it looking the same, it's because you don't have the data. All right, so they're trying to bid again off the 700s. This is the QQQ 700 level. It's a really, really big level here. Strong selling into this level now. What's breaking down? Nothing really. All right, everything failing VWAP, nothing taking out low of day yet. Again, just being patient because they can keep bidding these kind of levels. Remember, this is QQQ wall. This is value area high from last week. They're trying to protect value area high from last week. It's clear as day that they want to protect this, but they can't find acceptance back above point of control. This is going to be a thick zone here that they're going to rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate. But I tell you what, they've just held value again, and if they get above this, there's the argument for a long trigger back up again, but it's going to be very hard to take. Here we go. Here's POC. I'm going to watch this very carefully. If we can hold a bid here, that's a second attempt to break lower, which they failed. So if we can move away from this level, that's a second attempt to break lower underneath previous day's value, which they failed. If they can hold a bid here, I'll be interested. I'm not going to long into it. They're going to have to push, pull back, hold, and go. And hopefully they let me in if they're going to do it. Everything trying to put in a higher low to get back to VWAP. So none of the key indicators are above VWAP right now. All right, so mags below VWAP, software below VWAP, and SOXL below VWAP, but none of those can put in a lower low. They have all put in higher lows on an M5 versus low of day. So the rotation continuing at the moment. Alignment looks good for a long. Well, in terms of the bid off the higher low, yes, but are we through? Are we showing strength? No. The only one green is mags. I just think we're going to have to be very patient here, folks. Very, very patient. How do you get the 3 lines on your chart? I might have to do a video for this. Hey, all you do is you type in your indicator that you want and then you put plus. Okay, and then you obviously change it to a line chart. All right, and that's it. That's all you have to do. It's very, very easy. I'll do a video on it because I'm getting asked it every day. AMC at VWAP. Yay! I'm good. Yeah, thanks, love. Huh? No, I'm good. Thanks, darling. You off today? Okay. What time? All right. All right. Back inside yesterday's value again. Patience, 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 patience. Haven't taken a trade here since this relief that we had here, which is what? How long ago is that now? 30 minutes ago. We're just waiting. QQQ 700 level again. This cool wall. That's basically your 700 on the Qs. You don't use the Soxal, mate. Use mags, SOXX, so you get equally weighted. You don't want to triple leveraged against them, and IGV. IGV is your software. And obviously, if you're looking at other stuff, you can look at other ETFs. Those are just the 3 which I like to look at because that's what's rotating. If I was trading the SPY, I'd be looking at finance, XLF, or I'd be looking at energy. I'd be looking at healthcare, XLV, like. all depends what you're trading. You got to understand what you're trading. It's a big thing that I talk about in the course. You have to understand your trading vehicle. All right, weakness under 700s now. I'm really unconvinced we're going to break lower here, to be honest. There is a rotational setup, but I am unconvinced at the moment from what I'm seeing over here in those three sectors. So I'm not looking short at the moment. I might regret it. We might tank the whole thing, come straight back down to previous day point of control. But I'm trying to wait for these to show me. At the moment, semis are still holding on. I guess if they reject 42s here on a push, it would be a good indication. But if they reclaim 42s, then they're going straight back to view up again. And I don't want to get caught trying to short towards the lows here inside value. Looking for 29,000 to hold for longs. I mean, what you need is a trap. If you're going to be long, you need sellers caught here, a hold of this, and a hold of that is relief, right? So from here to here is possibly trade. From here to here is relief. For shorts, they're starting to build versus this now. So this is value. You would need the opposite. You need bulls trapped here, and we need to see this build out for a breakdown. And we need to see follow through in the other indices. There's the 42 check, which just got stuffed on that first push in. And coming back for it again. So I'm watching semiconductors here. They're very, very important here. Yeah, their 42s just got sold. Mate. They're coming back 42s again. Mag trying to find a bid. I'm unconvinced for the short here, folks. I'm gonna let it develop more. I'm not gonna try and play this rotational short. I am unconvinced with what I'm seeing. Big buyer coming in here at 52, aggressive. They are bidding 900s and 850s. There's reasons for it to move lower. It's just when I look at these ETFs, I'm not convinced. I might regret that, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. There we go. There's the sell from 42s. Back down to 40s. The problem is they've got this RBS zone, which is low of day on semis right now. So I'll show you what I'm looking at. What's giving me the spooks a bit is this. I'll move you to a 5-minute in here. All right, this on semis can be bid. All right, so push up, breakout, retest. I'm very concerned about trying to sell this in the NQ for this if they're going to be nasty with this. I'm very concerned. We want to be selling up here. So timing is going to be an issue here. And we've made some good money this morning. So I'm trying to just be very cautious in what can be a rotational day. I don't want to get caught. Looks like I'm going to regret it. Like I said, I might regret it. If you did take that value short, all right, your first TP is IB low. Your second TP is down here into 846, 850. Big seller at the low of day there at 900, folks. Big seller at 900. We're above him. IGV moving upside. MAG still holding on. No breakdown in MAG. This is all about the semiconductors. Yeah, they're trying to bid this up. They're trying to come back and test this player at 940s. You have a seller at lower day right now. 900. He's a little bit caught. Mag's holding on. This is all about semiconductors right now. I take you over here. Look, Mag's holding on. IGV's holding on. This is all about semis, whether they're going to break these lows or not. This is why I'm like iffy. Be what, flattening? The 24-hour one is, yeah. New York's still like trending downside. And I just keep looking at H1 thinking, is this really where I want to sell? You know, it's all these resistance points, which can become support points. It looks like we're going to return down here, 840s. Missed this trade out of choice. Out of choice. Right, semis testing lower day here. Mag testing PDC level, not low of day. And we're going to test current week's value area low, previous week's point of control. There's a lot of bids down here towards 850 starting to stack. I wonder if they swipe them and then turn around. All right, new lower day here, SOXL into its RBS zone. Mags will not come under PDC. They're finding a bid above PDC is what I'm saying. I'm concerned here, and we might get the initial balance move here. I'm thinking more long than I am short down here at the moment, folks. Not ready to long yet, but I'm thinking that this thing might swipe and return back upside. And I'm happy to be wrong. That's fine. We're not going to force against it. But we're starting to see a lot of bidding action down towards 850 start to take place. It's possible we come right down into here and then turn around. I just don't want to force my way into this market. Sell side. Semis have wicked under and are now testing that low of day that it put in before. I'm waiting to see if mags sell under PDC here. Who's the heavy one in mag today? Apple. Surprise, surprise, after a big drive out last week. Tesla as well, 2% down. I would imagine a bid will form here, and if not, they will close the gap here. So if you are short, if you did take the value rotation, you need to be covering into this, and then your runners will be gap fill and previous day value area low. But I chose not to take that. It was a choice. If we looked a bit better, broader market, I would have taken it, but at the moment, IGV now starting to sell. Very concerned about the rotations. Big volume node here from last week. Yeah, exactly. It's previous day point of control. There's a node here from that level, and this node starts here and it ends all the way down at 720s, which is basically right down here. Mag holding the bid. This is what I mean. The mag is holding the bid, and if this thing starts reclaiming, if this is a swipe to reclaim, then remember this is an RBS zone. It's hard to see, but the blue line, See this RBS zone where we bid out of before. This is my concern here. And we can think about the IB trade as well. So the IB, if we get failures to move lower under these, we can think about this move. All right, it's not that I'm trying to do the reverse or anything. It's just like if we fail to auction lower, then this move becomes possible and probable. So here comes the IB. Now the last big sellers was at 28,900 and 920. So if we start holding above them, I'm going to assume a squeeze back up from mean reversion here. This is why I'm not convinced of the sell at all from what I'm seeing. MAG now starting to push up towards VWAP. So if we get back above here, I'm going to look for longs, folks. If we start holding these prints, I'm looking for longs. If any pullback here that holds, I'm long. All right, long in this. And we'll see if we can hold 29,000 here for the squeeze up. And I'm going to target value area high, which would be 46 points odd. And we got a hold 29,000 for me. Trying to get up towards 50s here if possible. See if we can get a 50 pointer. SOXL holding its RBS zone. MAG looks good. IGV looks good. Everything looks good for upside here as long as we hold 29,000. How are we doing for time? We're good. We're good. New hourly bar here. We'll be careful of an hourly bar low put in first before we turn around, actually. Just thinking about that now I've seen it. Here we go. Can we squeeze up towards 50s for our first target? Here we go. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to move my stop up here to... Where's this last seller? If we can hold him at 20s, I'm going to let this candle form first. I'm going to be careful up to here. We want to lock in some profits in this LVN, 33 to 41s. Come on. How do I know the last big seller? Because I'm reading the order flow, my friend. I can literally see him. See that thing above me? A Bookmap or footprint. That's what I'm trading. Here we go. Into TPs here, folks. We're going to lock some in here. Now, if we push through this and hold, we're going to target POC for the day. Basically back to 29,000. Here we go. So this is the main move. Locking some in there. Fantastic. See, reading what was going on in the ETFs and the order flow kept us out of looking for the shorts. Smart trading. Been here, done that, made that mistake. We didn't see follow through downside on MAG. We definitely didn't see it on IGV. And all we saw on SOXL was a bid on the RBS zone. What did we say? It can hold a bid here. All right. Breakout, returning. That's what we've seen. No follow through under this. We don't think short if they're holding the bid there. We've paid ourselves some money. We're hold runners now. And while this develops now, I'm going to use the bathroom, folks. I'll be right back. Nice work. Nice work, team. Good day. Oof, stopped out runner there. Never mind. Hit main target, so, and we just wait again now. A strong selling. Right, last big seller, 100 lot, came in at 913s. And the chop is starting now. You can see the struggle. So it's rejection of previous day's value. So we took longs up to here. This was low-hanging fruit. If we got acceptance through that, we would have got that move. If we didn't, we stop out, we wait. We have to observe that they've now rejected value. It's possible that they will try and complete this rotation. Let me just have a look. Semi still holding on. IGV to VWAP. That sell came from MAG to VWAP. All right, so the MAG VWAP sell is what just caused that. There's your VWAP. There's your sell. All right, so rotation continuing between the three sectors. Reclaim again here of initial balance. Back to previous day value area high again here. Another apex payout. Let's go, sir. Nice work, Brandon. Nice work, buddy. All right, another seller now getting caught at the 912s. Mag straight back to VWAP here. Now, if the mag start breaking VWAP here, we might get going. Semi's coming into pivot here to try and break up towards 142s. IGV at VWAP and PDC as well above. So I think there's still chance for a relief all the way up here. I might have a second go at this. This is another attempt to break lower from sellers, which has failed. All right, and initial balance is without a doubt holding right now. All right, so that's a second attempt from sellers. Lots of sellers caught at the lows. If we hold this or do this move here, even this move here, I'm going to look for longs back up. Same as before. Do I recommend Top Step? I don't, personally, sorry. I haven't used them for a long time, but I have an issue with their ethics. I have an issue with the platform. Maybe it's improved a lot since before. Their customer service was awful. Top-Step-X was awful. That's that. Maybe it's changed. Maybe it's better now. But I think it's a much worse product than it was 2 years ago or whatever when they were at their peak. But that, hey, that's just me. Bid's starting to develop, trying to walk up. So we're going to see if we can get a dip here. Semi still loitering around that VWAP. Sorry, Mag still loitering around the VWAP. So we've got to be careful. Here comes the push. Oh my God. Well, that was the trade we wanted up to there. We'll see if we can hold now versus 42s. This is exactly what we wanted. And this is why we don't get short of the lows. Mag now through the VWAP. IGV to VWAP, and here's the check of 142s on semis that I literally just talked about. So we need to see if pullbacks hold either 46s or 19s, really. But this was the low-hanging fruit trade, unfortunately. They just did it in 3 big candles. Boom, 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 boom. And that was, what, 100 points? Yeah, 100 points in 3 minutes, straight up to this level. That was our next TP. So unfortunately, we couldn't do that. We had to come deeper, trap, and then go again. So this is what you always want to look for when they fail to break lower. All right, that's sellers caught. We saw more selling at the lows. We turned around. You're going to get relief. Now, target now, if you are in this, target is here, and then over here is the high, and here. So I'd say 29,040. So lock some in 29,000, and then 29,040 to 29,070 is your target, folks. Okay, and look at the turnaround in the mag. Here comes the mag. All right, big shove. Might not look like much, but it is. Here. All right, big shove. Never went green to red, then reclaimed green, green, shove, failed VWAP, back in. If they hold VWAP here, they go back to New York Open. Through that, acceptance higher. Otherwise, we're watching this into New York Open. All right. Rotation, 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 rotation. It is very much a see money, take money environment. Try and let runners work. That's all it is. Was that a news-like move? No, not really. It's just sellers caught. Right, look what's happened at the lows. Right, who's caught at the lows? 92 lot, 73 lot, 113 lot. Where's their stop? Where's their average? I don't know how to draw this. Can I get an arrow? Is there an arrow? Anything? This is why I can't teach on here. Anything? Okay, I have no idea how to teach this on here, but their stop is probably going to be around there, right? Reclaim a value. They're trying to short the lows. The moment we get through, they're out of position versus this. Look, boom, straight upside. Where are we going to go? VPOC. All right, who's trapped up here? Both sides, really. Well, I'd say now these sellers are now caught as well on pullback. So anything that starts to hold value, you're going to have significant selling at lows caught, and these guys caught. And these buyers are going to start to get in the money. Now, the last candle, we had a big buyer step in, and he's now out the money. So rotation is between these buyers and this buyer to these sellers. And that's the battle between the big boys. So someone asked earlier, how can you see it? You can literally see them. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. I can literally see where their order is. You're starting to find acceptance or the ability to try and bid here at value. They're trying to move this higher at the moment. And we're starting potentially to go buy side of the curve, and we're potentially doing it at a very key level. We are holding value. We are holding the H1 bid. Again, H1 for me, I talk about it all the time. God mode, right? Make it very, very stupid simple, right? I'm going to draw out what this looks like. Where have we come back to? Very simple, isn't it? RBS, resistance becomes support, right? They're trying to hold the bid. What else is in here? Sunday to Monday or current week. No acceptance over value area high, but we're back towards value area low and point control. What else is in here? Fridays, point of control, right? What else is in here? Fridays, previous day value area high. So maybe chop here, acceptance, squeeze. No acceptance, rotation. See money, take money in this kind of environment. We're inside of, yes, when we're inside of value, we have to be careful. I use a 5 minute for Spectre Pro. I use a 5 and a 1, mate. I have both up on my screen. Just move value. Where is that? 846. I wish NinjaTrader would put a Control Z in. I wish. Amount of times I move things without knowing. When Alex does Alex instead of hearing clowns in chat every day is amazing. Yeah, when I can focus. But I'll tell you what, though, guys. You guys have been amazing the last 3 or 4 days. Friday was another good day. Thursday was a good day. It's only when people come in and irritate me and I let them irritate me. And I've got to do better at not letting that happen. I am human, but I will repeat. And some of you in Discord will know I have an awful lot going on in my life outside of trading right now. So my ability to, how should I say, have a positive temperament is probably not as good as normal. You know, when members of your family are going through cancer treatment and people have bad car crashes and everything else, I challenge you to even be able to trade. It's very hard. It's very, very, very hard. So, you know, when people piss me off, I'm far more liable to snap. I mean, I had some asshole outside my front door, back door last week, try and start a fight with me. I was this close to kicking the fucking shit out of him. Honestly, I got in his face and I told him, if you start it, I will kill you. I will end you. I was about a foot taller and probably about 100 pounds heavier than him. And it took every bit of my energy to walk away and not be arrested and not have my green card revoked, all because the guy was trying to wind me up. And normally I'd never even react, but it's funny what emotions do when you're feeling tough for what's going on with family members. And being an expat the other side of the world when family are going through stuff, it's fucking hard, guys. It's really hard. So when I come in here and have people challenging me when all I'm doing is trying to help, well, it's quite hard to be nice. Anyway, back to trading. So, MAG, VWAP, software through VWAP, red to green on the day. Undoubtedly a higher low being put in here at the moment. If we start to develop a bid, it's going to be really hard, but they are trying to get through. The problem is we're now in a high volume node being built out. We have a D shape here, folks. We are undoubtedly in a bit of a D shape here. Look, this is your classic D, right? Classic D shape. Alex doesn't really like D shapes. They are range rotation's best friend. Well, he wasn't a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier. Definitely. I mean, I'm 220 pounds. I'm 6'2". I mean, maybe not foot, maybe half a foot, but he was drugged up, out of his brain, chatting shit, and I'm just, every part of me wanted to just cross the chops, you know. I didn't. I walked away, and I actually called my best mate in England, and some of you will know. I think it happened on, I can't remember what day. I came in Discord. I didn't tell them what happened. I said, guys, I can't trade the rest of the day. It's because I was so emotionally pent up after that. I think it was Thursday. I didn't trade the rest of the day. Because I know if I'm emotional, you know, I'm trading smaller size than normal because I have stuff going on off the charts. If I'm emotional, my ability to make good decisions under pressure is probably reduced, right? Do I train fighting? No, I don't. I probably should. It'd be really good for me. I wouldn't mind doing Muay Thai. Something like that would be good for me, I think. It's the one thing I've missed since I stopped playing rugby in early 20s. Since I stopped playing rugby is that camaraderie, that self-control of a contact sport. I think it's really good for you. I don't think I could do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I have very, very bad shoulders from rugby. My left shoulder is in pieces. I need surgery on it, really. So I think if I did jiu-jitsu, mate, it would just come out of its socket non-stop. All right, MAG starting to get through VWAP. Everything's looking good. Semi's now pushing towards their VWAP, and I think we're probably going to go and repair this auction at 9.15. So if you are in this long off the initial balance, remember the Tyson trade someone asked earlier. What's the Tyson trade? Well, there's two Tyson trades. There's a failure to move lower and a trade back to VWAP. There's one of it. The other one would be an expansion of VWAP, of IB, sorry, which would get us down to fill the gap today. Who's in the Tyson trade mean reversion right now to VWAP? Any of you in it? Do you play cricket? I did. I haven't played since I was a kid. I absolutely loved it. I loved the I watched the 50 overs yesterday. Great game. Lots of you in it. Nice work, folks. See, this is why it's important that you guys turn up each day, because even when I don't take trades, you guys do, and you make money from my teachings. It's good, eh? It's a nice, simple thing. So you're into current week point of control. This pink line is current week point of control. This red line is your current day point of control. So this is a sticky zone here. This is the most traded zone since the open, both today and Sunday, right? This is where buyers and sellers agree is fair value right now. Semi-selling in front of VWAP at the moment. That last push got stuffed. So we'll see if semis pull back and hold 140 or above here. And if they do, then I think they're going to have a VWAP and previous day high test. So any bid that develops, I'd say from 41 to 40, if they absorb that on semiconductors, then they're going to have a VWAP and previous day high push. Yeah, we don't have them where I am here either, actually, Michael and Austin. It's very unusual because I'm in a gated community here, but it was clearly too early. I was walking my dog. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. It's the first time I've seen anything like that. Actually, it's not the first time. I have had a druggie here before try and pull a taser on me, which I thought was hilarious. I just laughed. I was like, he was so out of his box on heroin, he wouldn't have even known what he was doing. But yeah, won't have that in Lakeway. I'll tell you what else that won't happen in Lakeway. They won't be coming on my property because I'll be digging a hole for them if they do. Get out of it. Alex, how do you trust your limits? I'm green today, but I could be up big. I waited for the best price rather than chasing and buying a mediocre price. The mechanics of trading escape me. Not sure what you mean. How do I trust my limits? How do I trust a limit order? Well, you just got to put a stop in with it, right? So if you're like, let's say you're buying value, right? And you put like limits down here to value, right? You need to put your stop here or at least under IB. And you just put it in. There it comes, right? Here's the VWAP. This is the trade. So from here, anywhere in here, you're locking in. Now, if we find acceptance over this node, then you're looking for runners up into here again. And this, remember, is the higher time frame, low volume node, right? So we might come all the way up into here for your runners now. And if we get acceptance over that, well, then we're not going to rule out higher day. I'm not going to rule it out. But maybe a pivot here. So let's put in a little grey box here because we do have some volume trapped up here. A bit lighter so we can see it. There we go. All right, so they are definitely holding pullbacks, and we have a look over here. How different does that look to 15-20 minutes ago? All right, semiconductors, think about what happened here. Failed to break lower, relief. Mag, relief. IGV, relief. What's happening here? Alignment for upside push, right? There you go. Repaired that auction. Here's your TP. There's VWAP. Now, next level is if we come right up here. So I'd be watching this red box now. So 940 to 965, folks, is your next TP. For those of you along. I got knocked out of it while I went to the bathroom, unfortunately. ES to VWAP as well. SOXL to VWAP as well. So we're just doing that exact move we talked about on SOXL. It's happened. It's a really nice hold and push. IGV's trying to get back up towards higher day. MAG is just holding VWAP at the moment. So make sure you've locked in a good chunk. I'd say 70-80% of the move. Lock it in because we can mean revert back down. We're into the high volume node. If we find acceptance above this, then this red line, red box above you is tradable. But you should have locked in a ton. ES into an SBR zone here as well and VWAP. So, you know, we might start failing here on ES. If it can get through 25s, then we're going to look for 30s to 35s. But at the moment, this is a big level from pre-market on ES where they kept absorbing. We failed through it. This is the second test of that level. MAG looking for a flag breakout here as well, but again, into a key pivot here. Very, very key. Software pulling back off those highs. SOXL failing, pulling back off VWAP, all right? So the main move into VWAP has happened there on semis. That's why you've got to be locking in here. If this is all they wanted on semis was a retest of this, you want to be careful. But like I said, I'd lock in 60 to 80% here. If semis get through VWAP and previous day high, maybe a little short squeeze intraday is on, and you can target this red box. But really depends how we flip these POCs. Current week, current day. The moment you're okay, but just make sure you've paid yourself. You'll be very upset if this comes all the way back down here again and you give 100 points back without paying yourself. Remember, we're in see money, take money environment right now, folks. And now maybe the H1 will make sense to you why I said we don't really want to get short into some of these levels here, right? All we did was hold and go, right? So lower time frame, higher time frame, we've done this. Lower time frame in here, right? We've done this, haven't we? We think about what that looks like, lower time frame. It's the fractal. All right. Buy side of the curve, TP1, TP2. If you get very lucky, you come up higher, but I would struggle to see that unless they turn the boosters on. Took IB low to VWAP. Great trade. Yes, the Tyson trade. IB low to VWAP. Nice trade. Very nice trade. 100-pointer. Congratulations. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. How do I feel about Andy Berman? Probably like the rest of the nation. Wah, wah, wow. UK's doomed. Get ready to be broke. You're going to give all your money away. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until you fix the system there. Terrible. I didn't watch the halftime show, but I saw everyone say it was terrible. I see some of you asking. Yeah, I saw everyone saying it was awful. I genuinely haven't watched it. But like, I love Wayne Rooney's reaction to it. It was crap. It was crap. I like them artists, but it was crap. What a legend. Live on BBC. It was crap, mate. Crap. Okay, Semi's rejecting VWAP second time on a 5-minute bar at the moment. Mag's still at it. Again, I'm not in anything right now. Like I said to you guys, you should have sold 60 to 80% of your profit up there. High probability trades come in. I'm flat right now. This is really going to depend now. Are they willing to hold a bid at value for previous day or current day? All right, so they might come and sweep. Do they hold a bid down here for the move back up? Or was this a retest of VWAP and we now going to find continuation lower? I don't know. It all depends what they want to do with the broader market. We're in a very choppy zone. Here is important for decisions. We're nice and green today, not looking to force. I think the size for me will come backside of the week. I would love to see this market hold a print Monday, Tuesday, anywhere from where we are now up to 29.4. 29.4 up towards here. This would be fantastic. Monday, Tuesday, hold a print up here and then be like, no, that would be really good. I'd love that. That would be an A+ setup if we come up here Tuesday and then sell it. Is Bookmap good for Asia session? Oh, it's not really about the sessions, mate. It's like if you read order flow, then yeah, it's good. But is there as much orders going in Asia? No, but is it still useful? Of course it is. You're still going to see where a player is stuck or walking up or walking down or spoofing. Doesn't matter what the session is. How are we doing on the likes, folks? Can we do some giveaways today? Have you guys been kind and smashed the like button? That Bookmap video from last week has gone viral. It's insane. It's going to be my best video by miles. 42,000 views I've had on it. I put a little bit of spend behind it, but it's gone absolutely bonkers. I like never had a video do that. It's pretty cool. It's going to be my best video by miles. Right, how are we doing on the likes? 1,800 of you here. Over 1,100 of you have not hit that like button. Remember, we get free course giveaway at 1,000 likes. Free Apex giveaway, 1,200 likes. We will do a free Lucid 50k giveaway at 1,400 likes. All right, guys, just smash the thumbs up button under the screen and I'll start giving back to you guys. And we will be doing a massive giveaway this week as well. Just waiting for one of the prop firms to confirm some stuff. What do I think of MBO data for Bookmap? What do you mean, what do I think of it? I mean, I just pay for Bookmap data direct from them. Have I noticed a huge influx of order flow traders pivoting from ICT? Yeah, loads. Tons. Do they understand what order flow is? No. Can they read order flow? No. Is it just a word that they're using? Yeah. Like I say in that video, when they're like, oh, there's a big buyer here. We're at high of day, right? And they go, there's a big buyer here. We're going to go higher. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm telling you right now. Shut the fuck up. It's clown show central out there right now. Right? If he's got a perm on his head, don't fucking trust him. If he's got acne on his face and he's 18 years old, I wouldn't trust him. That's how we do. That's how we do not do, you fucking clown. So yeah, it's the new hot topic, but none of them know how to read it. Right? They can't read it. I mean, I can literally watch them for 30 seconds, just be like, you don't have a clue what you are talking about. None. Don't have to learn from me. There's plenty of other good order flow traders, like Leo over on Ninja, great order flow trader. XYZ, great order flow trader. The number one trader in the world, forget his name, Italian guy, great order flow trader. Rips reads it on Bookmap, different to me, but great order flow trader. Trade with people who actually read it live for you, right? Fabio, sorry, thank you. But these guys who are on TikTok, I got a strategy, 8:15 mark outlet. Shut the fuck up. You think that we move the same way every day because of an M15 candle at 8:15, like 8:15 or 8, like just how much of an imbecile can you be? Just do this every day, you'll be a millionaire. No, you won't. Otherwise, everyone in the world would be a millionaire. Carmine, yeah, Carmine. I don't watch Carmine stuff, but I know who he is. I've seen him on is it Fanatics, Chart Fanatics? Another great order flow trader, understands. It's just pretty basic, isn't it? We're either seeing absorption or we're seeing follow through, right? And we're using those key levels to understand who's trapped, or are we seeing continuation? I'm not going to comment on anyone else. I'm not going to talk too much shit on people, but if that's it. We're either like, it's all about understanding higher time frame and then trying to find alignment. That's what it is for me. No, edge, like, as order flow becomes more widespread, will edge be absorbed out? No, because most people will never be able to read it. And remember, you're still talking like we are in a trying to think how to explain this. Okay, us in here in this chat together with other retail traders in the space who are YouTubers or in chat or as a percentage of retail, still tiny, 0.01%, right? Most people don't know what they're doing at all in retail. They don't watch ICT, they don't watch order flow, they don't know anything. They're just gamblers, they're just degenerate. So just because you get 1% extra that follows order flow, and probably 0.01% of that actually knows what they're doing, right? The market's not going to change for it. And the market doesn't care. Like, the market moves on big participants, like we know. I mean, why have we moved up today? Where have we moved up to? Right? Same thing as always. Sellers trapped at the lows, right? Failed auction underneath previous day value area high. There it is. Underneath that, sellers caught. What happened afterwards? They stop out. Big buyers come in. Where are they stepping up to? Point of control. If we find acceptance over this, where are we going to go? Probably going to come and test to see these buyers who are stuck up here, if they're going to let them get out. And if we come up there and they get out, what do they become? Sellers, and we move back down. All right, it's just the same principle. This has been going on for eternity, guys. There's nothing new about any of this. It's just how any market operates. It's not going to change because 1,000 extra 19-year-olds who ride unicorns suddenly put Bookmap up and try and sell that instead. I've done interviews already, you see. I was on Austin's podcast. I did one for Apex last year. Austin's actually asked me on again this year. When we get time together, we'll do it. Maybe we'll try and do it in person. Buyer exhaustion. Yeah, there is a little bit at 30s. There's 115 lot caught up there. Right up here. Above this, into this low volume node, right? I don't know if I've got to move this higher for you. Right, this LVN. So we're trying to find acceptance above VPOC. Big buyers keep coming in, but we can't get through this LVN. Look at the LVN. We can't come and test value. So this is what I'm saying. It's a rotational market until it proves otherwise. EOS rejecting VWAP, also rejecting its SBR level I mentioned about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. Right, think about this. Who's stuck? Where are they stuck? What's this? This is the pivot. All right, support. It's very simple. Support, 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 resistance. We're retesting that level. All right, buyers are stuck over that. Certainly stuck up here from the open. We've come back to that level. I would imagine we go in a rotation. Either they hold this and do this, or they lose this again and we come down. This is our box. All right, we were boxed up here. We're now boxed down here. Motion, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm glad to know that I've helped you. That's all that matters. It's all that matters. Alex, I bought FZT&x Daily Rapid 50k with your code, and I found today that the commissions are huge on M&Q. 670 gross. Realized 250. Is this normal? 670. How many did you trade to get 600 to give away $350, $370? No, you must have been churning those like crazy. There's no way the commissions are that big. You must have been churning them. Otherwise, you got to email them. See if I can find it. $1 to $2 per thing is what AI thinks. Let me open it up. Well, they do it based on NinjaTrader commissions, so it's just under $1 a contract. So either you've traded 300 of them, or something's gone wrong. I think it said 95 cents a contract, and FZT&x don't set it. They just use whatever Ninja set. So if you haven't traded 300 odd contracts, then you might want to message them. $6 to $7. It definitely is not $6 to $7. It's not. 100% not. I mentioned you while Austin was speaking of wealth charts at the summit last week, and he and the owner of wealth charts, Rob Hoffman, was giving you praise. Yeah, I like Rob. He's an old school trader, man. They're good guys. You've either been in the industry a long time or you haven't. I mean, you can just, you know the cats that have. Rob's been around a long time. He's a very credible man. You know, refuses to give ways. I talked about it last week to the prop firms who said, hey, can you delay your data feed by half a second and stuff like that. I respect anyone that does that. The guy could have made millions out of these props and chose to do the right thing. You learned from Rob before I found you. That's awesome, man. And he's a good dude. Alex, to buy the indicator with those bubbles, what do I need to buy? Flow Zone Pro System and indicator? No, Spectra. You need Spectra for order flow. Flow Zone Pro System is the rolling fibs and this box at the top and all the horizontal lines for PDC. It gives you the high, low, open, close of daily and weekly candles, and then some rolling fibs and opening range and overnight glowbacks. Has nothing to do with order flow. Okay, so POC being bid. They're going to try and let these buyers out. There's a lot of buying here still. They're trying to get up to value area high. Without a doubt, there's a passive seller here holding this down. And semis are right at VWAP. They keep tapping on VWAP. They did just hold the pullback to 42 that we talked about. And the question here is for semis, very simple. Can they break through VWAP and break through 44, 43s, right, which is PDH? If they can come and test those buyers from this morning, which will be these guys up here who are at the moment are very stuck. So let me just put this on. Where are they stuck from? 106. Let's do this so we can remind the folks. 106, right here. All right, so this morning we have, which one is it? This one? All right, this is kind of what you're looking at this morning. There was a lot of stuff in here, but we're going to ignore this because this is, we've traded through it and this is the choppy zone. So the extremes are just this. This was buyers who got caught on the morning push. This is sellers that got caught on the morning sell. And we're back into the big D. All right. Yeah, Soxal it's stuck at VWAP. I wouldn't say it's like rejecting. Like if we look at the 5 minute on Soxal, it's holding its M5 pivot. All right, so it's still holding this, isn't it? All right, so we've come up. Sweep. Remember, this is our RBS zone. Push, pullback, holds this. Push, pullback, holds this. All right, it's decision time. All right, if they're going to set the squeeze as previous day's high, they're going to need to do this and probably test the big buyers who got caught up here. If they fail this, it's going to be very hard to get short here, honestly, because of the pivot. This is why I'm like uninterested, because this is the same thing. So if we did the market right now, it looked like this, wouldn't it? Right, so this is your rotational zone. This is Alex's no trade zone. If we did a big gray box, this is where it would be. All right, so it's low probability trading in here. We want the market to get out of balance. When we're out of balance, it's much easier to trade. When we're out of balance and thin, it's much easier to trade. When we're out of balance and thin, it's much easier to trade. In here, it's highly probable. It's told you what it likes to do in here. It's shown you what it likes to do in here. This is not a location that I want to trade from personally. Does that make sense? Do I think the buyers at the high stopped out by now? Well, definitely a lot of them did. That's why we nuked in here. But I wouldn't consider them all stopped out, right? I think like there's a strong chance, right, that we will test them to see if they've stopped out, or we'll test this LVN on the hourly, and if they get out there, then we'll get the sell. And so far, we've tested it twice and moved away from it. This is the third time, so they might want to lift into this, which is where I'll be waiting to see. If I'm going to have another thought on this market, I'm going to have to wait for this. I've missed the long opportunity. Well, I didn't miss it. I took it and went to the bathroom and got knocked out on the runner. It's just a question of waiting now. This is the game. We have to be patient, right? We don't no force. It's nice and chill. When it comes, it comes. Yeah, lunch in 15 minutes. That's it. There is some delta divergence here. I do wonder, though, if they just want to like swipe this up. It's looking like a sell opportunity here, but I do wonder if they just want to swipe this up and test value first. The likes, are we there on the likes? Is that what you're saying? Have a look. Not even there yet, folks. Remember, 1,000 like, free beginner introduction to trading investing course. 1,200 likes, free Apex account. 1,400 likes, free Lucid account. It's so easy. All you got to do is hit the thumbs up and I give it away to you guys for free. It's so easy. There you go. It's the sell, like I said, buyer exhaustion at the highs. Got the indication on the indicator I'm working on. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they need to swipe it higher first. I wouldn't just short this into this node. ES rejecting VWAP. SOXL rejecting VWAP. MAG pulling back to VWAP. They can find a bid here on the MAG if they want. Hit 1K in 1 second. Did we really? Okay, we'll keep the likes flying in. And then we can do all the giveaways. Okay, first one we do is the course. Just type course once in chat. We select someone. Remember, it's just the introduction to trading investing. It's good for someone who's never traded before. It's only 2 hours long, but it's good for someone who's never traded. It's their first time ever logging on, trying to understand what's going on. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to do that. All right, and pull this winner. Rob 1099. Are you here, Rob? Rob 1099. That's me. He says that's me. Nice work, Rob. Okay, just send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I know it's you, and I'll sort you out with a free course introduction to trading as soon as we're done. All right, info@flowzonetrader.com. Right, we need 200 more likes, folks, and then we're doing Apex giveaway. So back to the low volume node, they're bidding low volume node. Again, rotation, rotation, rotation in here. It's why I'm not interested in anything at the moment. It's this, right? Alex doesn't trade these. He doesn't like these. Doesn't mean you have to do the same. You do not have to do the same. Yeah, 10K. It's crazy. Like I said, the video's gone viral. I've put a bit of money around behind it. Very light money, I'll show you. But it's amazing how crazy that video's gone. Yeah, 42,000 views on that video in a week, which is a massive for me. I'm not a big channel. But look at this. 10,000 subscribers off that video, and I spent $200 on it. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely madness. So apparently I need to do more order flow videos. Apparently that's the way. All right, they're looking to try and break this. Like I said, I'm surprised they haven't come and swiped all this, honestly. I am surprised. Like, I thought even here they'd just do a swipe up into here and then maybe they'd stuff it back down. So they needed to do one more rotation. They held the LVN. They're coming back up. Here's the high volume node. Can they get over this and cause the squeeze up here? And then is there exhaustion up there? I'll be interested in this market in here. The problem we're going to then have is if we're thinking about a sell, right, is we must respect this then. All right, so we're not going to have room like we did earlier. So if we come up here and there's some form of fail, we must respect the liquidity that we've built out. We have to, because this is the market saying we're not moving lower. Right, so at the moment, it's longs only up. And if they want to keep moving higher today and test up here, then so be it. That's actually fine with me. I'm actually fine. I'm actually really good if the market does this today and this tomorrow. That sets up tomorrow afternoon, or maybe tomorrow morning, but ideally tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, for the weekly model. For those who have done the course, for the weekly model, that would be absolutely fantastic. Are we there yet? Still waiting to get to 1,200 likes so I can give you guys a free Apex account. You're close. We're at 1,100 and something right now. We're close. Orchard, the move this morning had nothing to do with news, I'm afraid, mate. It had to do with no acceptance on value. All right? That's all it is. Sellers got caught at the lows, no acceptance. There's no newsprint here that's moving it away. The news came out at 10 a.m. It's got nothing to do with it. It's all about a normal auction. We can't just move in a straight line like I always talk about. This is very, very normal. This is exactly what we're expecting today. This was at least what I was expecting today. This is absolutely my expectation of the market. I'll give you a little show. All right, either we flushed straight away this morning, or we're going to look to see if they bid value area high, came up to previous week value area low, and anywhere in here, we're looking for that move. That's what we got this morning. We didn't get as high as value area high. We got that move back in, and then we went sideways for a bit. So we're having all of these. This is absolutely the expectation. All right, ES coming back up towards this 530. Software coming up for high of day. MAG held VWAP and is starting to push up towards previous day high. Semis also at previous day high, and I would expect At some point soon, there's probably going to be failures as we get into this LVN. Now, somewhere in here, I would imagine sellers will be waiting. Now, if they're not waiting there, if we don't see this, right, even for a retest of this, and they reclaim this, then we can't rule out previous week value area low. And you're getting very close to lunch now, folks. Which prop firm do I recommend? Like I always talk about, it all depends what part of your journey you're on and what you're looking for. If you're looking for daily payouts, all right, and you're willing to get through trails, take Profit Trader, all right? If you're looking to scale 20 accounts and you don't mind having a consistency rule, Apex. If you're a brand new trader and you've never traded before and you just need some skin in the game, Apex, because you're going to fail and they've got the cheapest way of getting involved in the market. If you're looking to have no consistency rule, then I'd look for flex accounts from Funded Next, Tradeify, and Lucid. It's all depends on what type of person you are, how far into your trading career you are. All right, here's value area low, value area high from the session. So like I said, this is your TP zone. So if you took IB or value, TP1, TP2, up here will be TP3. In here, I would expect sellers to be waiting. I would expect them to be waiting up here, folks. You are into those zones now. How are we doing? Are we there yet on the likes? Still waiting to get there. LVN so far rejecting, and value area high from the day and the week so far rejecting as well, back towards this New York Open. So I would have been locked in more and more and more profit as we move up here, and this is your final target if they really got going. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm trying to get over to the screen to see if the likes are there yet. Yeah, SOXL's at previous day high. This is the pivot now. Almost there, folks. Almost at 1,200 likes. A few more likes, and then we'll be able to give away an Apex account. Just hit the thumbs up underneath the screen. That's all you got to do. Can we short now? It looks a little bit early to me. You want to watch these 53s. A buyer came in there. Still think they've got a little bit more juice to push here up towards, maybe towards 100, maybe even that other node towards 120. Honestly, higher the better. The extension, the higher the better in here, because then this move here, you're going to have to respect this. So the higher the better, because it's going to give you bigger RR. If it stops here, it's going to be, you know, you're going to have to pay yourself there, aren't you? It's not very good. The higher, right, and these guys become sellers and we stuff it, at least then you can get a rotation down to here, pay yourself. And if it gets a runner, great. And if it doesn't, you're out. But in here, you're limited on RR. I heard about Kevin Keegan. Yeah, I heard. It's very sad. It's very sad. What an absolute legend of the game. Absolute legend of the game. I always think back to his interview where he was a Newcastle boss against Alex Ferguson. I tell you what, I would love it. I would love it if we beat them. Absolute ledge. The only person to have a perm and make it cool in my mind. A mullet perm. I would love it if we beat them. All right, here we go. Is the squeeze. So we're into lunch. I'll stay here with you for 5-10 minutes just in case we get a setup here. Looking for, see if we get a blow off up into here and then a failure. I don't want to fight against it. Semis through previous day high. Now, it's possible if they get through 46s, it's possible they go 150s and this thing really squeezes. Mag coming up to PDH here as well. So this is an important level, whether these buyers become sellers or whether we let them out. And this is, remember, that high, or last week's higher time frame, low volume node, this red box. But truly, we're actually watching this now. We could probably even remove this, to be honest, because we've traded through it a few times. I'd watch that level above. Stay with us in case we hit 1,200 likes. Well, hopefully you will. I mean, it just means there's like some of you on stream not flashing the light. I never understand it. We have almost 3,000 people on stream at peak, and people don't press like and then get upset that we don't do a giveaway. Yeah, My Fund in Futures is great. You can use, look, anyone down below, if you look at the bottom of the screen, any of those firms I recommend. All right, any of these firms: Apex, Funded Next, Lucid, Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, My Fund in Futures, Trade Day. You can use code FZT with all of those. Will get you the best discount. Other than Take Profit Trader, you will have to use code FlowZone. All right, here's the first fail in this LVN. Now, the problem here is they failed so early that we don't have much room back down to here. You see how they can hold a bid here now? It's annoying. And the buyer last came in at 30s. So, like, the problem here is about the RR more than anything else. Would have much rather we came up as close to the grey box as possible. And just think about this. Starting to see some rejection of this node, but this is where buyers will want to protect 30s to 20s. And we want to get short as close to this grey box as possible to give us room. Now, here's the 30s check of where the buyer last came in. They are buggers not coming up here. They've done this the last few days. We cannot get the best possible area to get involved with. Let's see if we reject New York Open here. I'll consider it. It's not ideal. There's more selling going on here at the lows. This is less than ideal. I just not going to leave me any room. What would I be short here for? 20 points? 10 points on the punt? Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing for 10 or 20 points. Not doing it. Not worth it. It's just not worth it. Is there anything comparable to Spectre Pro that's free? I think if you're in the Discord, there is a very simplified version for free. Otherwise, I would highly doubt it, my friend. There might be, but I think you'll find at FlowZone we undercut everyone else. I purposely do that. The course undercuts everyone else. The indicators undercut everyone else. We undercut them for a reason, because I was you once and spent, I was in rooms which would cost me $3,500 a year, and all I would get is a chat room that I wouldn't understand. So, yeah, Spectra Lite in Discord. All right, IGV breaking out high day. Semis holding on. Big buyers coming in at these highs. Another 150 lot up at value area high right now. Big buyer coming in there. Not getting his way yet for the breakout. No demos. We don't do demos. We don't do anything like that. I am building an advert at the moment. I did have one built, but I'm not happy with it. Here we go. Let's see if we can come up here. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes just in case. This is what I'm looking for, like the blow-off kind of move. Here's the move to 100. I'm watching ES into 530 all the way up to New York Open 35s. Semi starting to break. IGV breaking out. MAG previous day high. So all I'm going to watch here is if I see buyers anywhere from now up to 125 get caught for a short. And if they don't, and there's not a lot I can do. There's not many big orders. There are some buyers caught on that last candle, but it's not many big orders. They're caught at 90s and above, and I would imagine they want to come and clean out a bit higher. So I'm watching this low volume node to see if we start rejecting it. Seller getting absorbed here at 90. So it's the first market seller I've seen, 57 lot, absorbed here at 90. I want to see if we can get up to 120 ideally. I'm just watching to see if we can test these players here. And if then they get out, or if we just get back above them and they're left comfortable for the day, in which case we will do the move to previous week value area low, I would imagine. I don't want to fight it, so we either put in that formation I drew for you earlier, we either... I would need to see something like this, all right? And I'm going to take partials here. And then if they rotate value from today, then we get lucky, we get that move. But I'm going to assume that this is going to hold. Some of you are already long, probably still from here. And this is your final exit. And if you got very lucky, you get up here. I would find it hard to imagine. We can't rule it out, though. Can't rule that move up here out. Is anyone still holding their long from IB low or previous day value area high? Still holding. Nice work. Fantastic work. Still in it. Great. So just watch for the move up here. All right. You might start. Remember how many buyers are caught up here. You'd have to turn on a lot of gas to get above this. And if you did, you'd get this move to 270s. But it's going to require a real big shove. A really big shove. All right, here's the 530. So watching 535 on ES, which is the New York Open. Semi-strong right now. IGV high of day. MAG stuck at previous day high. Lifted above, came back down under. So we're watching that, but you'll see alignment still pushing up. Look at all of these. Right, there's semis. Here's MAG. Here's software. Alignment's upside. We don't short against that until it's finished peaking out. Imagine there are failures coming soon. Find it hard to imagine them getting through this in one go without a pullback to check some of these nodes, 67 to 30s. I'd find it hard to imagine them pushing without that. 120 to 150. I'll watch to see if sellers are up there. And I would need to see a big buyer come in. It's going to be kind of hard to do that at lunch. Buyers to defend 270s. 270s. 270s is way up here. Not sure what you're talking about, mate. Buyers haven't defended that. How can they defend that? It's above them. Or buyers defended now 270 for a bit. I see what you mean. Buyers have defended market now looking for that. Understood. Sorry, I read that wrong. I was like, how have buyers defended that? Buyers have defended value from yesterday and IB. Now they're looking for 270s. Yes, which would be previous week value area low. Yes, I would agree with that. But you must respect this as an intraday buyer. Right? We can get stuck here. I would imagine there is a pullback here no matter what. All right. Unless there's some news comes and they get a squeeze, I would imagine there's some form of pullback here for a reset, even if they're going to go higher. And if they can't then hold it, it's a problem. Right. Here's the move. This is what I'm really interested in this area. 50 lot buyer coming in here at 105s. ES into New York Open. Software into previous day high. Mag above previous day high now for the first time since the open print. I'm going to wait to see if there is a turn here. Now, if we get back above this grey box, I'm just going to leave it alone because I'm not going to short against strength and I'm not going to buy late. And we're in lunch, right? So we'll just see if there's a trade setting up here. Right, testing this buyer at 107s. Still there on the tape. And there's still a seller at 150. I think we're getting close to a pullback coming soon. Hopefully they can peek it out a little bit further first. Another big buyer. Sellers starting to come in on the tape here at 108. So they're not getting followed through sub 100, but they are starting to come in here. Zoom this Bookmap in a bit. I want to see this seller at 150 walk down. Don't want him just hanging out up there. If we're going to look for a reversal back to 65 and 24. I'm going to try and fill this guy at 120. I'm waiting to see if this guy at 150 walks down. So they're stacked 120, 125, 135, 140, 145, 150, 160 at the moment. Feels close. $46. They fill that 150 and hold. They can hold over the shelf, which will be a problem for us thinking about mean reversion. We'd have to ignore it. It's 120. Still didn't fill it, and there was a wiggle there. Sellers coming back in at 08s again, just like they did before. Delta divergence at the high, but with very low volume. Very low volume here. Slow, slow, slow into lunch. Yeah, it's coming back into New York Open again. It's having another attempt to get up there. IGV can't get through previous day high. MAG right at previous day high here. Let's see if it swallows this up and moves back down now. 108 was the level where they just tried to sell. Buyers are now caught 106 to 108. So if pops start to fail here, maybe I get a feeler on. Okay, feeler on here. Just versus 108, tight stop. And we'll see if we can move back down towards 66s. Want to be careful if they hold this LVN here. It's early, but I've just got a feeler on versus 108. If they reclaim 108, it's fine. Just take it off. Don't mind having a couple points. Day auction didn't look great. Okay, we want to wash underneath this LVN and try and get down to 70s if possible. And still protecting the LVN here. And that last seller was at 88. So we'd like to get under 88 to feel comfortable. Otherwise, basically going to be a scratch here at 108. So maybe I'll move to 110s just to give it a bit of room. So they held that LVN there. Still adding liquidity high, which I don't love here. So stops at 10s. Just to give it a bit of room because 108 is the level. Just trying to give it a couple points. Missed me by a tick. Nice. We've got to get under this seller. We want to travel all the way down to value if we can. I'm only small size, so I'm trying to hold on to see if we can get that move to value. Good selling here. We need follow through here. We need a new low here. Lovely. Right, there's a little bit of absorption starting to take place at 90s. Once we move under 89s, we look good for this move down to value. So if you want to pay yourself some here, you can. You can move stop break even as well, whatever you're doing. Here's the test of that seller into 88. I'd like a flush under here. I want to get under 88. It's where the seller was, right? It's where a 60 lot seller was. I would like to see us move under that. Here we go. Here we go. So we're looking to cover some anywhere from now down to 67s. Big buyer coming in here. And underneath 70s or 67s, we can just hold runners. And then we can think about adding on if we're going to rotate value. But really, this is a... We expected, like I said, we expected somewhere in this LVN up here as close to 120 as possible, all right, to be a sell back down to here and maybe even here, all right? And then if we pop and fail this, we can think about a rotation. That's why we ignored this. We waited to get as high. Look who's trapped. Guess what they're doing? They're getting exiting, break even as much as possible. We're counter trend, so we're going to take profit into here and then just hold in case. Hopefully it makes sense to you all. That's all that really matters, is that you understand why we took it, where we took it. Right, what do we see at the high? Another buy get caught right into these levels, same levels as before, right? If we think about these guys started getting their exit. They were allowed to get out break even here. We're starting to see a pullback. We're testing this seller here. And that's why I want it to move under this to test value. Then we get out here. And if the buyer and the bid doesn't show up, we can potentially get a move down to 20s and then 29,000 again. There is some bidding taking place here, folks. So you probably want to pay yourself a bit. If you've got enough size, just pay yourself a bit. We are in an LVN. Buyers can protect this area now, right? They're allowed to protect this area now and this area now. So these are your TPs. Your TPs are like here and here. And then if and when we move into here in the afternoon, we can make our mind up if we're going to do this or this. So at the moment, they're protecting that LVN. And we need to see failures here to hold on to any more now, because they can keep squeezing up if they want to. Trying to let the runner work here. Don't really want to see it absorb 88. That's 3 times we've absorbed 88. If we absorb 88 again, I'm out on the runner. I'm not going to hold it. That's another attempt. All right, I'm moving my stop in nice and tight here. 88's got to let go here, folks. Otherwise, I'm out. Out. That's me done. Give it a chance. Can have an Alex trade here. I don't care. It's absolutely fine. So the 88's held. The reason that was significant is it's where this seller tried to sell on the way up. He front-sided it. We came back, we held him. A buyer met him, and we can't find acceptance underneath that. Remember, the bigger trade would come under 88. Oh, see, this is why I can't trade and teach on NinjaTrader. It's such a shame. The bigger trade, right, would be this and that, right? At the moment, we can't move under the 88s. And because it's lunch especially, I'm risk adverse and I'm done. And there's auctions higher possible still. All right, folks. Did we get there on the likes? I think you said we did. If we did, that would be great. All right, 1,200. So not to 1.4, but 1.2. So let's give away Apex account. Type FZT in chat. Just type it once. you guys a couple minutes. They Alex trade me in lunch. It'd be funny. All right, let's pick this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Chap Classic 2304. Chap Classic 2304. Let me know you're here in chat. Chap. What a chap. Congratulations, mate. All right, free Apex account on the way to you. Again, same thing required from you. Just email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Please just send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I've made a note of your name so I know it's you. And I will sort you out with a free Apex account. Super simple. All right, super simple. info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, everyone else, that was a nice stream today. Thanks for joining. We had some nice moves today. What I'd be looking for this afternoon, so I have you prepared. All right, it's very simple. Buyers are currently trapped here from this morning shove. I would expect, if we don't fail now, then a push here, and then this move down to test value, and maybe even here. This is your decision point once we get down here. So if you do get short on failures, you need to cover and respect that. Buyers will want to protect this node. All right, they won't want it back into that node. So if buyers protect that node, we can't rule out this move end of day, right? We can't rule out this move. This becomes probable. This also becomes probable if they hold that node. If they fail to hold that and pushes are sold into at value, you can potentially think about a rotational play back down here. Again, this is your H1 pivot right here into an RBS. All right, so if we're going to sell, we need to be selling here and then holding on for that. If we're going to buy, we need to be buying something like this and holding on for that. All right, you don't buy once it starts letting go of this. Don't do it. See money, take money environment, and be that way until we get to Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon, until we get up here. All right, and then we can think about what next, whether it's a big sell or a huge reclaim, all right, as we talked about in the newsletter. All right, so just be smart over lunch, scalp your way through this. We still had multiple 100-point trades available today, which has been fantastic. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, all right? Hopefully you have a good day. Don't be doing anything stupid this afternoon. Remember, we don't have any news scheduled, so if something hits the news blotter, if we have news in Iran or a Trump comment or who knows what it could be, or an early read on earnings, who knows? You know, just be proactive, be protective, use your stops, all that good stuff. Always use hard stops. Peace and love. Peace out, everyone. See you tomorrow morning. Thank you for the positive energy today. See you tomorrow.